I don't think so.
All right. Does anyone want to recap?
To wreak havoc?
Let's see. We
Recap.
smoked cigars, got really drunk. I watched Misty struggle up the stairs. That's what I remember.
Let's see. I made a pact with Jack that he will survive to the end. A few days later, we arrive back at Glademore. The gate guard tries to keep us from heading to Addersfield because of the danger. I pay him and frighten him into barring anyone from following. The next day, a felled tree blocks our path. Werewolves attack. I decapitate one and frighten off the rest. Lady Tearle welcomes me back to the carriage and offers me a glass of her blood. We reach Addersfield. Tearle Keep is in sight. We seek our revenge at Bilker's bookstore. I decapitate his hellhound, Coco. Malachi catapults the dog's head at Bilker. I gut him while living and read his entrails, the 10 of pentacles, the lord of wealth. We raid his shop. I defile him, and am granted another augury, the king of wands, the prince of the chariot of fire. We journey to a safe house.
Those are really good notes.
Wow, you do take great notes.
Oh,
Well done.
I think I got everything.
Okay. These are mine. On the road.
Didn't Willie Nelson say
That's
that?
it?
On the road. Sunlight is more harsh for BH. Why did I write that down?
Is it more
I
harsh
don't
for
know.
BM, too?
No. Malachi squirms. It's his dream. Like, what do these mean?
I know what they mean.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know what my notes mean. Malachi seeks knowledge. BH wants power. Jack and BH don't trust Red. I don't know why that was last week's. Jack wants
You
high
put that every
adventure. I know. That's what I'm saying. Jack wants high adventure and stories to tell. He wants to live to be a victor. Malachi smells Red's hair. Why did I take that note?
You didn't specify which hair.
Oh. We'll guess. Approach Glademore?
Glademore.
Guardhouse, single guard, BH drink blood of... Oh, at least I got that
Got
note.
that one.
Lady Tearle after defeating werewolves with us. There is no hope in this place. Gray, no sun, dreary and dismal. Distance up above, there's a dilapidated, dismal castle with scurrying figures. A brief respite. Bilker's books, potions, politics, and tonics. General goods, and then I put a little arrow, that's where Red one.
Well, you got none of the details and all of the atmosphere.
So between
It just
the
kind
two
of
of you,
shows
you're
what
our adventure.
I was paying attention to. I don't know. 3 spell
Sure,
books
that's
and Bilker's books, bookkeeper and Pug killed.
Oh, yes, it was.
But I wasn't.
Sweet
I wasn't
revenge.
sentimental at all about that pug. You guys were. I'm just like, there's a pug.
That was
You guys had feelings about the pug. I didn't.
the beast from Hades, that pug.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
in
you guys
my-
destroyed them so fast.
I
they
didn't
even
mention
get
it,
a
but I
chance.
defiled the dog, too. Just Bilker.
They didn't have a head.
That's just right down the throat. It's all good.
Oh.
Right in the trachea.
Your tip pokes out of its butthole. So it's like a furry fleshlight.
See, this way there's no teeth. All right.
God.
I gotta do this to all the dogs
Right in the
now.
stump.
Wow.
Wow. Let me write those notes.
Yeah, you might want to leave those out
Yeah.
in case your
Wow. I don't know if I
kids
can
find
post
your
this one.
Right?
on YouTube.
Well,
Yes. So, as you sit once again in the carriage and you head out of town, just beyond Addersfield, there's a lonely, empty lane. It's very dreary and dark. There's been a smattering of rain. There's some puddles. The road is very muddy, partly overgrown. And you're still within sight of the edge of Addersfield when you see off to the left-hand side there's a small hill, and at the top of the hill there is a mansion that looks gloomy, dark, standing alone. There's something almost institutional about the way this mansion looks. And as you turn up the lane, heading towards it. You realize it looks almost more like a hospital or something. But the wagon and the carriage trundle to a stop in front of the front door, and you step out as you see some crows fly off. See a few lurking dogs off to one side. The yard is not well kept, it's overgrown. There's a old wagon that's broken down and looks like it's been sitting there for many years because it's overgrown with weeds. But the house looks abandoned and empty.
Is this our safe house, Lady Tearle?
Lady Tearle gives you a very courteous nod as she holds her hand out for you to lead her up to the front door.
And I do. Snatching a glance at Malachi, as though to show him who was the alpha in the group.
Malachi scowls.
The lady bids you to follow us as I lead her up to the door.
Is the big hospital-looking building, is that still visible in sight? Is that nearby?
That's the building you're at.
Oh, we're at that building. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were at a house near that building.
Now, this mansion looks it has that sort of feel to it.
Okay.
Like uniform rows of windows. Looks like a couple of wings. About three stories tall, with tall or steep roof with shingles on them that look dilapidated. A lot of the shingles are missing.
I wonder if there's a library in this place.
You have those new books of Bilker's. I'm sure you can put them to good use
Have them.
while I tend to Our Lady's needs.
How long are we intending to stay here? I'm in no rush to face Lord Dorian.
No,
I feel unempowered as of yet.
that is up to the lady. There is still the matter of Van Richten. He is surely in pursuit, and we need to decide how best to use him against Dorian. You notice again that Balthazar no longer refers to him as Lord Dorian. Simply Dorian.
Well, I, for one, long for a warm room and a library in which to study.
Are there any signs of habitation in this place? People?
When you try the door, it is locked.
Jack! I bet you've never met a locked door you couldn't penetrate.
Right, you are.
Treat this.
Kind of warms up his fingers.
Treat this like your sister
Pulls out
Simon.
this little leather rolled pouch and unrolls it and pulls out a couple of picks and goes to work. And just about as he's inserting the tools into the lock, the door swings open. Right, sorry about that, miss. As this little old lady with this wild hair just frizzed out on top of her head, just stooped and bent over.
Is she a human?
Looks like this.
Oh!
Yes. Appears to be human.
Oh, wow.
She's a witch. She's a witch.
I'm not a witch.
From what
I'm your
depths did you crawl, woman?
She
Do you not know the lady of the keep has arrived?
Where did I put
Bid
that?
her welcome. And be
Wait.
quick about it
You're saying that to whom?
to this lady. So
She
you
goes,
will know the back of my hand.
Mistress, it's a pleasure to see you again. I didn't know you would be coming. Oh, my dear mistress.
And she rushes forward, and Lady Tearle just kind of endures a hug from this woman who's just fawning over her.
After a moment of the hug, I'm going to quickly push this old woman away.
You push her back.
Oh, yes.
Stand back, creature. The
Oh,
lady
I'm sorry.
has need of comfort.
I get carried away. Oh, mistress, it's so wonderful to see you.
Lady Tearle says, yes, Bernice, it's nice to see you as well, my dear. I trust that you've kept the place in order. Is Humbert still here? And the lady, her face goes from this big beaming smile to this dark scowl in an instant.
Yes. The man is still here. He sees to some things. But oh, my dear, come in. Let's get you in out of the cold. Not that you feel it. Come on in.
And she bustles the mistress in. Doesn't seem to care much about the rest of you. Not yet, at least. And ushers you into what indeed appears to be kind of the entry hall to a hospital. You see some very old signs that are faded and worn. There's a sign that says Addersfield Hospital for the Criminally Insane.
What does it smell like in here?
Mostly musty and disused.
Doesn't smell like human shit, like old people or crazy people
Well,
in here.
roll a perception check. As Balazar starts to test the air with his nose.
It's the
Sadly,
dog.
I rolled a 5.
There's a slight old person smell, but mostly it just smells kind of unused. You can hear the echoing in the distant chambers. But looking off to one side, you can see through a room into what looks like almost a cafeteria-like room. There's a number of tables arrayed. Most of them have been pushed off to one side, but there's 2 tables set out. Each of them has a single chair at it, and they're on either end of the room. And you see, sitting at one of the tables is a figure with their back to you, and they're hunched over the table, leaning over it. There's something on the table, and they're like, you see their elbows going, this hunched over figure. So she leads you into that room.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, what was the room called? Is the
It
library
looks
or
like a cafeteria.
a
or something.
cafeteria?
I'm going to look to Garrett's, our Ratkin ally. He's still with us.
Yeah.
Garrett's. See what they're about over there. Make sure that the lady is safe.
He's got his hand on his weapon. He's got a number of weapons that he brought with him.
What was his special? Was it a cleaver? Special
Yeah,
weapon?
kind of a cleaver. Yeah.
I don't remember who
Like a
Garrett's
serrated
is.
cleaver.
He's the Ratkin
Oh.
hero that journeyed with us.
You see the Lady Bernice, Mistress the old bird.
It's a great picture.
She shouts,
How much? The mistress, she's back. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Ah, you old pickle. Anyway,
as he kind of perks up and turns around. You see this, like white hair and balding at the top. Just looks old and weathered. This guy with the deep scowl, big heavy nose, and this guy's seen some shit.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
So Humbert looks up.
mistress. Oh, mistress. We've been keeping the place.
He's got this very gruff voice, almost like a heavy smoker for many, many years.
He looks like it.
And what he is pulled away from is some sort of mechanism. It looks like there's a box and there's some metal components, and he's kind of trying to work on it. You see like a screwdriver and a wrench sitting off to one side. And Lady Tearle says, "These are the keepers of this abode, a place that I've found to be safe from the prying eyes of my brother for the time being."
Does he know of this place?
He probably does, but he shouldn't bother us here.
Perhaps our wizard can ensure that his prying eyes cannot penetrate magically here. Surely you have gained power in this area, have you not?
Let me see what the library has to offer, and I shall find a solution to that dilemma.
Yes. I suggest that we set a guard, my lady. I trust this place is safe, but I would have no unwelcome visitors here. Perhaps Jack and Garrix and myself can rotate in shifts to ensure the safety and solitude of this place.
Garrix catches your eye, kind of nods towards the door, and stalks off that way. Jack, meanwhile, you hear him kind of rustling around in the kitchen area. There's definitely like a cafeteria serving area, and he's already vaulted over the counter, and he's inside the kitchen rooting around. You hear cupboards opening, some dishes clatter to the floor.
Lady Tearle,
Funny.
are there residents here in this hospital?
There were at one point. She turns to Bernice. Is Dr. Pruckstein still
Dr. Pruckstein?
on his little experiments? Bernice goes,
Yes, such a nice young man. He's been hard at work. All this time while you've been gone. Oh, mistress, I've kept your room just as you left it. You will find everything in its place. Your dress is perfect. Not that the man helped much.
and she glares at Humbert, who just glares back at her, turns back and starts fixing whatever his thing is again.
Bernice, have you prepared rooms for the lady's guests?
No, not for you. You can find room somewhere.
Quickly growing agitated with Bernice, you can see Balthazar's eye twitching just a little bit, thinking of the foul things he would do to her if the lady was not here.
No doubt.
He's going to excuse himself
Lady
to
to
see
the test.
what Humbert is doing. He's curious about this device.
As you lean close, you can smell very strong turpentine-like alcoholic smell. As you lean in, you realize there's a bottle with a rag kind of poked into it, and there's a alcohol sort of liquid inside there. And he's bent over, working on. He looks up at you. What do you want?
What is the purpose of this device?
It's a trap.
Yeah, you've piqued my interest. Please explain it.
Right. Grabs the rag and kind of mops, kind of wipes up something, and then grabs the bottle, takes a drink, and sticks the rag back in. Right. Slams it shut. You see, kind of latches it, and then he grabs his crank and starts to crank it up. And you hear like a little sizzling sound coming from inside. He cranks it for a minute, and then he goes, "Touch those."
Jack, come
No,
here.
I knew you were going to say that.
Touch this, Jack.
What? Oh, busy right now. Finding myself a bit to eat. You all hungry?
Yes. I haven't eaten in quite some time. Red, come touch this music box.
Music box.
Yes. Come and look.
Right.
They crank the spring. Just open the lid and beautiful sounds will be heard.
I know better.
I'm going to make a deception, if
Okay.
I may.
Draw an insight check.
Ooh, that's decent. 18.
I'm doing insight.
Yes. So roll a 20 and add your insight.
Uh-oh.
Music box?
I turned it on accident. Hold on.
Alphabetical.
On this one?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, geez. 4.
4. I mean,
Not saying you have to, but it sounds very compelling.
yeah, it does look kind of like a music box. You remember having one as a child.
That's true.
Right.
I did. My brother. He bought it for me.
Balthazar's such an ass.
Yeah, he is. So I go up and I want to explore it a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't hear the whole conversation. So I just come over and I'm exploring this box.
Malachi leans in and watches.
Just curious. I might die.
Death is
So,
but another step
it's-
towards power.
It's a magic jewelry box, so he says, but it has what, 2 like springs coming out of it or something? What am I
There's
touching?
kind of a top door that hinges down, and there's a latch on it.
Oh, okay.
But there's these 2 kind of little metal spikes that stick out on either side of it.
On this side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I avoid those little spikes, but first thing I'm going to do is unlatch it and I'm going to just pull that lid up.
Humbert, no, don't open it. That would be dangerous.
I used to have one of these. It's a special
You have to
memory
open it
for me.
Pushing the buttons on the side.
I'll clap him on the back. Good man.
What?
What better way to determine the efficacy of your device than by an unwitting fool? I mean...
If I touch these sides right here, can I go ahead and lift up this latch then?
Sure.
Okay. So I take the sides and I touch with both fingers.
I'm actually going to move that turpentine bottle away.
As you slide the turpentine bottle away, you see her fingers go, and a spark leaps. You know, she's touched one side, and the other finger is not quite touched yet, and it leaps across, and you feel this intense jolt of electricity run through your hair. Looks like hers.
Cool. Pretty red hair.
Now you take 2 damage from the electricity.
Where am I at right now? I'm at 63 right here.
I guess so.
And you're like,
Yeah.
takes your breath away for a moment.
I say, Red, was it good for you?
Fuck you.
Humbert's like,
Good work, Humbert.
just starts coughing.
I do apologize,
agreed.
Red.
Seems to be working.
It was a good.
I'm okay.
Test.
My hair is crazy. I'm okay. And as agreed, I get to go ahead and unlatch this.
Yep.
Yeah, alright.
So you unlatch and open it, and you just see metallic components and wires and things in there that you don't really understand. They're like some sort of coiled copper.
That created the electricity.
It does not look like your music box. Your music
No,
box
it's very
had, like, a
disappointing.
spring
Turns out
in
it doesn't play music after all.
The lady did for a moment.
Yes, she did.
Please.
Squeal of delight.
Yeah, the test was successful. I'll go reinstall it.
So
Where
he picks it up and goes,
where do you put this?
On the front door.
That's sweet. I would,
and you would notice it later off to the side, and there's wires that go from that to the door.
nice.
So where if anybody were to complete the circuit, they would get zapped.
I
That's
would
what I was
pay
wondering.
a
is
pretty
that-
penny for a miniaturized version of this.
Oh.
Small enough to travel with and ensure the safety of my wearers and
I'll see
myself.
what I can do.
The lady will be grateful.
I need a smoke break.
Come, you've earned it. I'll smoke with you.
Okay. He steps outside to smoke.
And Mistress Bernice doesn't like us smoking inside.
Where is Mistress?
She
Fix that.
She is but a woman, Humbert. You should assert yourself. Be the man of the house.
Alright. Yeah. Good idea.
You're not going to, are you?
But he rolls this big cigarette, like rolling paper, just with his fingers. You see this whole process go on for a minute or two, and then pops it in, and it's hashish.
Yes.
It's some intense stuff. He's immediately just he's like coughing the whole time he's smoking it.
Let me aid you, my friend. Let me exhaust some of that supply, and
Oh,
I will help myself.
All right.
And we will pass the time together.
All right.
You guys are outside
with
then?
Humbert.
And where is Bernice?
She takes the Mistress Tearle to her room,
Oh, so they've gone.
chattering away. You can go with if you want. The two of you are left as Jack comes back out from the cafeteria kitchen, sits at the chair, and props his feet up, and he's got a sandwich, and he's just eating happily, looking around.
It's a little surprise. Nice, I'd say.
There's food in the kitchen, you say?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think Red makes a pretty good sandwich, don't you, Red?
Turkey pot pie, from what I understand.
My loss, I should have.
I don't even hear you. I've gone over to Herbert. What's his name?
Humbert?
Humbert. I can't read my Humbert. I go over to Humbert's little workstation and I've just started exploring because I'm thinking to myself that I'm going to find some clues somewhere in this house. I think my brother's been here.
Find the library.
Well, you're busy with the food.
Roll an investigation check.
Oh, come on. Give me something good. I might start using your dice. Oh, 18.
There we go.
As you sort through these components, you find a piece of wood. There's a few different pieces of wood. There's some like springs and different little metallic bits. It's just kind of, this table looks like he works here, eats here. There's like scattered dishes and half-empty drinks and just parts and bits and bobs. But you notice a piece of wood. It's been pried off of something, but there's a picture on the side of it. The paint is faded and peeling, but you feel dead certain that you recognize that. It looks like the picture that was on the side of the music box your brother gave you.
I take that little piece of wood. How big is this? Like,
Yeah, like about that big.
I don't think he's going to miss it because this is a mess. And he didn't care for it. He was throwing it to the side to be able to use that music box. So I just take that and I slide it into my pocket. I got big pockets because I'm a woman.
But how did it get here?
I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. But it's mine for now.
What's Malachi doing?
Is Humbert still around?
You went outside.
Is Bernice still around?
She went upstairs.
You are unsupervised.
I'm going to walk
Actually,
around.
no, she would have gone downstairs.
Okay, so she went downstairs. The library would not be downstairs for fear of a flood. So I'm going to start exploring. I'm going to find the
Okay.
library.
As you begin to wander around, you find a number of other administrative offices. There are some like clinical-looking rooms, maybe exam rooms or something like that. You find a number of like small cells or little small like holding areas. And that's all on pretty much on the main floor. You do find one of the administrative offices. It looks like an office of somebody that would be maybe in charge, or one of the maybe a doctor's office or something like that. And there are a number of books in that room. But as you look through them, they are in a state of damage and disrepair that makes them pretty much unusable. You might be able to salvage a few pages here and there, but they look like there was some water damage at some point, and they're kind of moldy and broken up.
Okay.
But the shelf is much bigger than the number of books. And it doesn't look like this office is currently in use.
Okay.
Most of the rooms that you see do seem to be pretty well abandoned. There's not much to them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to head up.
Moving upstairs, there's, a caged area, there's bars in this long hallway, and there's doorways on either side, and you begin to scout about, and again, pretty well abandoned and empty, and here you find slightly bigger rooms than the ones that were downstairs, but very simple. Some of them are just like stone floors and walls and stuff, or just like plaster, and then some of them have padded walls, and it's just basically a psych ward. And you don't find any library or anything there. There is one room. When you first get to the top, there's a kind of access into a room to the side that looks like it's where you would check in and out. And there's a number of files inside that room.
Oh.
You can see a bunch of like probably patient files or some sort of documents in there.
I'd like to look through that.
Okay. So you spend some time, you get into the room, and you spend some time, there's a little kind of counter with an opening, but there's bars in front, so you can like slide something underneath the bars. There's a little bit of a gap, but it would keep somebody that's crazy from attacking you. But you start to rifle through some of the folders, and you find a lot of these are in a similar state of damage, and some of them are like actually chewed on by mice or rats, and you see some scurry away. But
Does Malachi know the name of your brother? Have you spoken his name?
I'm wondering if I know the name of my brother.
Yeah, you would.
you would know your brother's name.
I know I would.
You
I'm
Remember that
wondering
little
if I-
story we wrote?
But the ones that you can read, you start to get some strange symptoms and
Do they seem valid or do they seem made up?
I mean, it ranges everywhere from seeing ghosts to hearing voices to I made a deal with the devil to it's just a gamut of kind of horrific oddities that could take the sanity from a person's mind.
Okay.
It's hard to validate any of it. It's
It's still interesting, very
Right.
interesting to Malachi. And I'll look through and see if I see Red's
but
brother's
you do
name.
notice the name Dr. Prockstein
Yep, we heard that.
signing off on a number of these, not all of them, but quite
And
a
we know
few.
that he's still here and he's done experiments. I'd love to find him and meet him. Okay. When I'm done here, I'll continue and keep moving up.
Okay. I would say that would take quite a while
Yeah.
to go through those files.
As he's going through those files, I'm on the porch with Humbert. I'm going to share some of my wineskin with him as he's sharing his hashish. And I'm going to ask if there is a hospital cemetery where they bury those that have been condemned here.
He looks like it. Well, we're supposed to all be burned.
But
Might be a few.
I'm thinking of Malachi. Perhaps, here's a small
You want
army
it burned?
ready-made of the insane zombies. Those that were not burned, where did you put them?
Not me.
Who?
The doctor.
Rockstein. Would you show me?
I'd be up to the doctor. I don't meddle with his affairs.
Very well. Where is he that I might speak with him?
Keeps his offices down below.
Well, carry on your work. From what I have seen, it is quite good, quite successful. Do not listen to that bitch of a wife of yours. She does not
That's
understand.
not my wife.
Oh, really? Your mistress, your harlot, whatever she is.
I'd rather stick your dick in a pile of dust.
Well, I've done that, my friend. Well,
Finishing off the last of this giant hashish joint.
what say we adjourn to the cafeteria for some snacks, my friend?
I have work.
Well, if you need any assistance, you have but to ask. I'm fascinated by this craft of yours. You are a true artisan.
Okay.
He turns, you see him like scratch his butt as he trundles off. His old, kind of stout guy, hunkered over a little bit.
I'll head back in and look for Jack in the cafeteria.
Alright, Jack's still kicking back with Red, I guess. Finished his sandwich.
Red, the doctor of this place is down in the basement. Would you like to go down with me? See what he has to say about this place.
I don't trust you very much right now.
You say that out loud?
No.
No.
You could.
No, but I look at you a little bit wary.
Pause just a few seconds, and if she doesn't reply, yeah, very well. Attend to whatever it is that women do, and I will head down to the basement.
Okay, sorry.
Jack goes, I'll come with you.
Come, Jack.
Sounds like a right bit of sport. See this here, Doctor.
This doctor is unlike any healer I think you and I have ever met.
Well, I'm not too fond of doctors. They're always trying to fiddle with me head.
I'll ensure that he does not. If you recall, we drank together.
Right.
Nothing will harm you.
Kicking his teeth as you find some stairs heading down. As you bump into Bernice coming back up.
Did you find some rooms?
We've not attended to those as of yet.
That's nice. Make yourself at home.
I was enjoying my time with your husband, Humbert.
That's a nice lad.
Yes, he is.
She's not listening.
No.
As she trundles past you. Just this thin, frail wisp of a woman with just... Her hair's bigger than she is.
Does she have a stench like Humbert did?
Not the... Humbert smelled like
ass?
cheap alcohol. And
What does Bernice smell
sweat.
like?
Bernice smells like dust.
Like old lady.
All the way. Dust and lilacs.
I smell a lot of old ladies at work. It's all floral.
It's dust and lilacs, dude. But she walks by. You're beginning to question her sanity.
I'm gonna give her a little pat on the ass as she walks by.
She doesn't even seem to notice. She
It just keeps walking.
It's like two swine wrestling in a duffel bag or something.
Oh, no.
She's thin as just a frail, thin little thing.
Yeah, give her a little swat on the ass as she
It'd
goes
be like
downstairs.
patting this stand.
It's all
There's just
bone.
nothing to it. So you
Jack and I will continue
down
into
the
the
stairs.
basement looking for Dr. Rockstein.
see some candles on the
Right.
there's like these candle stands attached to the walls, and so there's candles burning in them, providing a little bit of illumination. Not a lot, just barely enough that as your eyes adjust, you can see enough to.
I would
You don't have
I would
a
prefer
problem.
the darkness, in fact.
True. Yeah. But you get down to the bottom of the stairway, and there's a hallway that extends out before you. And at that point, you begin to hear sort of the sounds that there's more people here, actually.
Down here, gibbering.
Yeah, you can hear some sounds in the distance.
Nice.
Like
Sounds like Jack.
laughter and occasionally like a pounding sound or bars rattling. And as you continue a little further, you reach a door, and as you open the door, that's when the sounds get even louder. And
My first thought is that this would be a wonderful laboratory for Malachi to perform his experiments. And then I catch myself thinking about Malachi and I quickly dismiss the thoughts and think this would be a wonderful source of nutrition for Lady Tearle down here. All the food she wants is held within these cages, like livestock.
you
I begin
pass
to wonder if
the
perhaps
room with
I
that
should
lady
take-
laughing.
Yeah.
So you see these doors, and they just have a slot, like a thing that you can pull aside. So a little slot, you can pull that one open. And you just see the lady just like rocking in the corner, just laughing. As you go down this hallway and start checking some of the doors, some of them are empty, but some of them have people in them in various states of insanity. A lot of them just are staring off into space, or a couple of them are in straitjackets. Some of them are just buck-ass naked, like writing with their own shit on the wall. Like it's the whole gamut of the insanity spectrum.
I look on these people with disgust that they have fallen so far. If anyone is worthy of death, it is these lives unworthy of life. And I take a moment and look at each one and imagine how their death will be, how pleasing it will be to the god of death, and how pleasing it will be to me. And then I think again of Malachi, that yet again, here are more tools that we might use against Dorian. I look at Jack. Does he look nervous?
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, 5. I'm too enthralled by this guy with a shit sharpie right on the
he's
wall.
gone very quiet. You notice his lips are pressed together tightly, and he doesn't look into the rooms.
I slap him on the back. Come, Jack!
He jumps a little bit.
There's nothing to fear here but the dregs of humanity.
You ain't never been in one of these here places.
No, I have not. Is this your first time as well?
Wouldn't recommend being on the other side of that door.
Oh.
You speak from experience.
Let's just hurry and find this doctor.
Very well.
I might want to have a nice word with him.
Call out. Dr. Not Coxstein.
Proxting.
Proxstein. Dr. Proxstein.
Proxting.
I've had a little bit there.
Dr. Coxstein. Dr. Proxstein. Where are you?
You hear a voice echo from down the hallway. Yes?
The lady has returned.
Who is that?
Come. I am Balhazar.
The door
I
at
am
the
her
end of the
consort.
hallway opens, and you see a tall man, slim, black, kind of tuna, like blouse type, like silk shirt,
Nice.
buttoned up to the neck with this high collar.
Something Malachi would wear.
Yeah, kind of. Black pants as well. You look behind him in the room, you can see it's well illuminated by a lot of candles. There's a large desk, and there's a number of bookshelves all around the back side of the room where you can see that are just completely full of books and patient charts and papers and all sorts of things like that.
Is he, by chance, torturing anyone at the moment?
Looks like this.
Oh, nice. Jeremy Irons. Next to Donald Sutherland.
Do you know who these people are?
He's making up.
Who they resemble.
Yeah.
He says,
Come this way. Let's pick in my study.
Jack, are you okay with this?
Jack has his hand like in a pocket where you've seen him pull a dagger where it's hidden like in a false pocket.
If this makes you uneasy, you may return upstairs.
I think
You may go freely.
would like to have a few words with this here, Doctor.
No, don't kill him just yet. He may prove useful.
Don't have much love for these sorts of folks.
No, but perhaps you will have your revenge, if the lady deems it.
Shut up, you right bitch! Kicks the door where this woman is laughing in the background.
Come, Jack. Let us see the doctor.
Alright. I'll just keep my thoughts to myself then, won't I?
As he follows you in, you step into this office. As you do, you glance to the left, and you do see that there is a dissection table, and there is a figure on the table. There, the cut open in the center, peeled back.
Ooh.
Clamps are holding things back, and then you see the chest rise and fall slowly as this individual that's strapped into this table seems to still be alive, partially dissected.
I rush over enthralled by this doctor. How do you maintain his life?
Are you a practitioner of the medical arts?
You, in a manner of speaking, I have...
What is your name?
I am Balhazar, consort to Lady Tearle.
Consort, you say?
Yes.
We shall see about that.
Yes.
Dr. Prockstein.
Dr. Prockstein, a pleasure.
It's a little different.
Please, tell me.
The pleasure is all yours, I'm sure.
Yes, it shall be. But tell me, how is this slab of flesh still breathing?
Do you see the tubes?
Yes.
The blood.
Well,
We must
He's German.
circulate.
how does this... I could keep them alive.
It will not last for long. Long enough to get the information that I need.
As they are at death's door, you say.
They will last another hour.
If I were to tell you that I was once a follower of death itself, would that interest you?
I am always interested in
I have sent many people to the night gardens. And
easy to kill.
yes. But
It is the interface between life and death that is fascinating.
and of this I agree, because at the moment of death, I read the entrails, and the gods whisper to me secrets,
What does this
visions of the future.
mean? Read the entrails.
May I?
I'm not done with my experiments.
Have you another that is dispensable?
None with his particular condition.
What is his condition?
Psychosis.
No.
All of them.
I have yet to verify having read one of these. Perhaps I can just observe. Let me show you.
Let me conclude my experiment.
Yes. May I assist and watch?
You could assist. Yes.
And he goes over and takes an apron. It was white at some point, covered in blood now. Puts it on, kind of belts it on, pulls these black rubber gloves on.
With the gloves, you do not feel the flesh. You do not feel the tissue.
Stand back and observe. He goes over and almost very similar to the box that you saw Humber had. He goes over, cranks up this box, and he grabs these two electrodes, and he comes over and he starts to just like prod and poke at different areas. And you see the guy twitching, and he has some sort of a device, like these wires connected to the guy's head, and it goes to a box with paper that this little thing starts to squiggle up and down. Yeah.
Some say that life comes from the heart, others from the brain. I feel that life lies in the liver. Try it on the liver. Let us see what happens.
I've tried the liver. That is not where the life is.
And where does the life come from? Where is the life force secreted in this individual? Have you considered it is in the blood itself?
I have considered this. This is insightful.
Because what gives Our Lady life, and now myself life, is the blood.
This is the thought that I had when I learned to circulate the blood, to keep it alive. But now,
Have you
Looking
peered at
for-
blood under an alchemist lens?
of course,
And you notice that the blood will move itself away from probing, will respond to danger. The blood has a mind of its own. It is not the brain that controls the body. It is the blood.
perhaps I will show you my latest experiment
Please, doctor.
in a moment. He puts the electrodes aside, grabs a saw, and just starts sawing the skull off of this person. And they start like, they're fighting against it. My sedation is wearing out, but we don't need it much longer. He just keeps going, cutting around the sides, and eventually you see as he gets out these almost like mini crowbars and pries the head, the skull off of the top, exposing the brain. And he begins to zap and test whatever he's looking for. You're not quite sure. But as he does, he starts to cut little pieces away from the brain. You see the body reacting, quivering and twitching, and eventually the guy just starts moaning and screaming in pain and agony. But eventually he cuts away, and then makes a final deft dissection and pulls out with tweezers this small little acorn-shaped piece of brain. This is what I was looking for. And he drops it onto a little glass vial or a petri dish and covers it. Now, you may do as you wish.
Has this person expired?
No, they're still somewhat alive. There's still a heartbeat. It's erratic. There's occasional sporadic breaths. There's a little bit of life. You would imagine there's not much brain activity.
Let me show you what the blood can do. And I bite the back of my wrist. I sprinkle a little bit of blood onto the heart, and then I begin to squeeze it. I'm casting Revivify, third level spell. Brings anything that died within the last minute comes back to life with 1 hit point. Doesn't restore missing body parts, so it'll still be a vegetable.
It'll still be a brain dead vegetable.
Yeah. But you see the heart
Oh
begin
my
to
God.
twitch a little better. I look at the doctor. The blood.
You start pumping the blood, the heart,
And I let go, and it goes of its own accord.
and you let go, and you wait till it, like the heart flutters and then stops before you do this.
Yeah.
So it's more dramatic. And then you start it up again. You see it, he goes and he takes a book and he just starts scribbling notes. Interesting.
Now, watch this. You have a scalpel or a blade handy.
He hands you a scalpel.
I sever the hepatic arteries and veins, pulling the liver out, carve it right down the center, and just flay it open inside this man's abdominal cavity. Tell me, would you like to know the future of this place, this hospital that you run so well? Would you like to shuffle? I lay the liver open. There's blood pooling out of the little openings. The tissue still quivers. It's dark black blood. It seeps out of the liver as I squeeze the lobes in my hand. I wipe it from time to time, study the patterns of the blood, wipe it again, study the veins. I'm pointing out the different areas to the doctor.
I think Brandon likes this too much.
And then I tell him, just wait. You'll see it. And as the blood comes up the third time, it forms an image. And you see my eyes roll back in my head. Take a deep breath in, almost shuddering orgasmically.
Ooh.
As I exhale, I see...
Wet spot forms in his pants.
It's a fist grabbing 2 rods. The Lord of Dominion.
Oh my God.
The 2 of Wands. I see this place.
Like you're holding 2 wizards in your fist.
I see this place
Dang.
being a source and a fount of great wisdom. What you are doing here, Lord Prockstein. Doctor Prockstein, is discovering the essence of life itself.
Yes.
Your work will ensure that the mystery of what lies beyond this life will be known. Continue your work. You will bring back others and gain dominion over the mind, over the very soul of
This
individuals.
is interesting that you would say such things.
Yes.
Perhaps there is something that I have always dismissed to this prognostication.
Do you see the image? Do you see it there? The patterns?
See that the mind likes to make connections that may not always be relevant. But let me show you. Come. He strips off the gloves and the apron, tosses it aside. As he steps out the door, he goes, "Clean up!" This guy comes trundling out.
To Yugor's twin brother.
It's Yugor's twin brother. Mygor.
Master.
Master, I need to clean up, okay, Master? Now that became canon. It has to be Mygor now. There's Igor, Yugor, and Mygor. So he takes you into another room where you see a large operating table. And around the edges there are a number of kind of like vats or containers. But laying on the table is a creature, a flesh amalgamation of body parts stitched together. A flesh golem.
Ooh.
It's laying there inert. It doesn't seem to be animated in any real sense. But it's missing a hand. But for the most part, complete.
My companion, Malachi, can give this life. Let him show you. In exchange for your knowledge.
But I do not seek to give it life with magic.
Then how?
That is what I've been studying. I believe I am close. Very close.
The wheels begin to turn in Balthazar's head. As soon as he shows me this, we can get rid of him and use this as a tool. And then he thinks, no. I get rid of a useful servant. And he's in a bit of a pickle, because he is used to getting what he wants and then killing whoever might benefit from it. But perhaps he's changed his ways now that he's met Lady Tearle. And he studies the sutures and stitchings on this flesh golem, checks to see if it has a phallus or not. He would be disappointed if there was not one.
Let's just roll a straight D20. If it's odd. It's odd? Okay, he does.
Oof. I pick it up, Could you bring this life and let it flop down?
It's a very large one, in fact. Stitched together from several others. It's not
It's like
one
an
single
Oreo black,
member.
white, and black.
Yeah.
Patchwork.
Different colors.
Fascinating. Does it have 2 balls? Or multiple scroti?
You go in and
Sorry.
you get a good feel, and it feels like there's like 4 or 5 balls in there.
Nice. We only have 2 kidneys and need only 1. Perhaps this is just
I
forward
will
thinking.
share with you my dream,
Yes.
not only to make him, but to make a meat.
Could they?
That is the reason that he must.
Could they mate? Interesting.
A new race of beings.
You must meet Malachi. He would be most interested in this. He could add to your knowledge.
I'm always pleased to learn whenever I can.
I will turn. Has Jack left? Is he still with
No,
us?
he's still kind of just hanging back.
Jack, go and fetch Malachi. Bring him down here.
Right, you don't have to ask me twice. He turns and he's out of there. And he would find you after a bit upstairs, still poring over many of the files.
Okay.
Probably like categorizing them. You got different stacks. You're like organizing them.
Color coding.
It is fascinating, all of the maladies that they were accused of having. Some are too ambiguous to be.
Yeah, a lot of it
accurate.
is like they claim they're telling the truth. Obvious signs of schizophrenia.
Right.
He's like,
Right. It doesn't seem to be a genuine place of medicine. It's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
little-
your perusal of the charts reveal that fairly quickly.
It's a corrupt place, but corrupt knowledge is still knowledge. So, I think there's much to be learned in this sanitarium.
So Jack comes and finds you.
Hoi, Jack.
Oi! Oh, we found the doctor.
Oh, Dr. Proctenstein.
Right. Dr. Cumstain.
All right. Is the rest of the group with him? Red and Balthazar.
Only Balthazar. He wants you to go and meet this doctor.
All right. Well, I
I'll
think
show
I've
you
done
the way.
everything I can do here. Lead the way, please.
So he takes you back down to the...
Do you go through the cafeteria? Because I'm interested now. I'm bored with the cafeteria.
Did you make us all sandwiches? Did you come with a big heaping plate of sandwiches?
Shut up.
Okay.
Little piggy
Did you cut the crust off as a white bread and cucumber?
I
cucumber
stamped a little
sandwiches?
dinosaur shape.
You spent all this time and then Malachi and
I actually did
Balthazar.
those all the time.
There
Okay,
you go.
that's good.
Did you make more? All you made.
Like I spent 2
There's
hours
some
on
protein shakes in the fridge. Help yourself.
Speaking of protein shake, Balthazar.
I knew that would be a segment.
I knew
so
it was.
Yeah.
I can't help it no matter what I say.
I'm
That's
adding
kind
my,
of a game that we like to play.
Where could I
I
put my
open the
cum?
little valve on the scroti and fill it with my essence, and then tap it shut so that part of Balthazar will be in this creature.
In where
There's no
again?
valve in the
Inside the
scroti.
scroti. The multiple
There's-
Oh, the
scrotums.
multiple
There's no valve on the scroti.
He's just stitched one giant bag out of like 8 scrotums and put all the balls in there.
Pretty
I
much.
got some black hair, some red hair.
Oh, you took it too far.
Like some stepchild or something.
Like a patchwork
Took it way
quilt.
too far.
Calico cock.
Calico scrot.
So Jack takes you down,
Weird.
and as you get to the bottom of the stairs, he just points and says, "He's at the end there. I'll be upstairs."
Okay, Jack.
Jack, you didn't want to come back down?
You're with Mal, right?
Yeah,
Red's
so I
with you.
came with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you and Red
Come on, Red. Let's go find
reach the end of the
Balthazar.
hall, and you look into this study, and you see the study with all the books and the papers and everything. There's the desk, and there's an operating table off to one side, and there's a couch, that looks like he probably sleeps there most of the time. But
And I was fascinated by the files. Look at this place.
they're not in there. Then you hear their voices, and you find them in this larger operating room, and he's standing there showing Balthazar this
Scrotum.
giant creature that he is
So Malachi sees
stitched
this
together.
flesh golem.
Yeah.
Oh,
He straightens.
oh,
You are this Malachi I've heard about?
I am Malachi.
He is the scientist.
Yavoy!
What amazing work you've done. Have you unlocked the secret of reanimation?
I'm almost ready to try it.
Let me show you what I can do, and I'd love to see what you can do. Is that flayed open body that's in the same room?
No.
That's in the other room.
Yes.
Migor was
Cleaning.
cleaning it up.
Is it
Migor.
Migor?
Oh, Migor.
Is it okay?
Igor,
Sorry.
Igor.
Okay.
Tomato, tomato.
So that
It's not
body,
Igor, it's
so that
Igor.
body's gone.
Dead. Wait, did that one actually die then?
Oh yeah.
You couldn't read the
All right.
entrails without.
Right, has to die at the
Has to
moment
die.
of death.
He let him die, brought him back to life, and then
So
cut
finally
the
he had his
entrails
rest
out.
from this torture. Then I brought him back into the tortured state
Right.
and then ripped out his liver and then he died.
That was so nice of you.
Oh. Well, I don't want to do it on this flesh golem. Is there another body, another dead body? I'm gonna look around. Is there another deceased body?
Bodies in jars.
You realize
Things
that
like
these
that.
vats, many of them do contain body parts.
Just parts. Well, I want to see what the doctor can do. Please, may I witness your greatness?
When I'm ready, I'd be open to have you watch, observe my genius.
As they're talking, I'm going to do my ungodly sense to know the location of celestial aberration or undead within 60 feet. Do I sense any of that down here in this office?
Sensing what again?
Celestial,
Now is that line of
undead, or
sight?
aberration. It actually penetrates through a foot of wood or like 2 inches of stone. It does not penetrate lead.
Okay.
Something angelic.
Aberration.
So I
Or
would say in the room that you are in currently, you don't detect any of those.
So we're just
So
talking
there's
about
no undead. These are
Different types,
truly
kinda.
dead body parts.
Do
It is a bit chilly down here, and
do
the
I
vats
detect
of liquid.
myself
There's
as being
a
undead at all?
no, you're not technically undead.
Not yet.
No, you're a thrall, but you're not undead.
I'm still mortal.
Yeah.
Remember that or nothing. But I don't detect any undead presence or aberration. And then as they're talking, that's what I do.
He says, "I'm ready to complete my creation, but
What are you missing? What do you need? Are the equations incomplete? The words of power? Do you need assistance?
I have harvested a enzyme that I needed. I have to diffract it. I have to purify it. Then I can use it to infuse in the blood I've been collecting. And of course, a spark of life. When I'm ready, I'll let you know.
How soon until you're ready? When can we do this?
Eager beaver. A few days. These things cannot be rushed.
I agree with that.
So you want to create life with this thing on the table, and the enzyme is going to get you there.
Part of it, part of the equation.
Red wants to go around to the different cells and see who's in them. Can I do that?
So you'd leave that room and go back down the hallway and start checking the cells?
I'm going to whisper to the doctor before Red finishes this. If you replaced or gave it the blood of a vampire, wouldn't this not come to life? Does that not give life to the dead?
Interesting theory. One that might bear some experimentation.
You shall not, of course, touch Lady Tearle, but
She has always been a supporter of my experiment.
she has a brother that will soon trouble her no more, and perhaps we can put his blood to use.
You speak of Lord Tearle.
No, I speak of Dorian. He is no longer Lord of Cherokee. The lady is returning.
He and I have a history.
As have I.
When I have completed my beloved creation, perhaps he could be of service in fighting this Lord Tearle.
I would see this march against Lord Tearle and seat the lady upon the throne of her rightful home.
It's the least I could do for all the support she's given me.
I agree. And then we hear Red walking down, checking the cells.
Do we know how many cells there are to look in?
You're going down, you're pulling the
Yeah, those little door windows.
yeah, whatever the hell those are called.
A door window.
Looking down, and on the fifth one, you feel your heart stop.
Yeah.
As you see a figure huddled in the corner. The bed has been tipped over on its side. There's a figure huddled in the corner, kind of hugging himself, looking wild-eyed. Hair is long and scraggly. They're filthy, dirty, scrawny, but you recognize your brother.
Just like that.
Oh wow!
Red hair. I wrote that earlier. Oh my gosh.
She's a ginger look.
Ginger blood.
His name is Shadrick.
Shadrick?
We didn't have a name. I couldn't find it.
How do you spell it?
S-H-A-D. Well, because they were twins, I think. So Shanna and Shadrick.
Okay, I like it.
S-H-A-D-R-I-C-K.
Okay. Shadrick.
Oh,
I don't recognize him though.
that-
I look in that little window and I'm looking at him. I see the red hair.
No,
So-
you even with that, you
I recognize him.
I only hope that Dr. Cockstein needs him to bring his creature to life, because that would be awesome. Balazar would totally help him.
Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Would you? Okay, so I recognize
But I
him.
don't know that he found
No, I knew him.
So what do you
You
do?
do. You definitely do recognize him.
This
Okay.
is, this is like your life's mission.
Yeah. What did I call him? I want to say Shadrach and Abednego. You guys with me?
Oh. Okay, what do you do?
Shadrach.
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 Isn't that like a Cleveland steamer? A Shadrach.
Shiplack.
Shit rack. It's a rack you shit on.
It's Cleveland steamer. Or Waterdeep steamer.
The gaping Goliath.
It's 4 gold pieces on Wednesday nights.
2 for 1 deal. Number 2.
One on the
on
left,
your
one on the right.
Can you imagine a Cleveland steamer from a Goliath? They'd be like, plop. I can't breathe. Get it off.
And if he's had a curry, it's only 3 gold.
No, it's extra.
That does not go well.
Anyway, how did we get talking about that? Oh, your brother's name.
Shit rat.
Shit right.
Poor
You're gonna
brother.
ruin everything. I get it
I'm
though. Yeah,
sorry.
I'll come up with a town name or a character name.
You ruin it
immediately.
all.
Dr. Cockstein.
Yeah.
Sorry, so shit bricks over there is.
But he looks at he is curious about what is your talent with are you a purveyor of the necromantic arts?
I am. In the search for knowledge, focused on that moment between death and life and death. Something's got to be there. It has to be reversible. There has to be a way to bring life back to death.
You've seen the spark.
I know of the spark.
It.
I can show you if I have
Once
a
that spark
subject.
is gone.
Do you have a subject you no longer need?
Sure.
Cell 42, if that's the one that he's in.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Mygor! He shouts. Bring the body! After a moment, you hear this shuffling gait as this corpse is dragged in. That head is sawed off.
Oh, is that
The
one?
brains have been,
Okay. Okay.
and the entrails are all spilled out. The liver. It's
No
like,
worry.
It's a mess.
I'm going to take a deep breath, hold Osseous forth. The eyes are glowing green, surrounded by all this death. And I'm going to begin casting a spell.
Chill touch.
It takes a minute. I bring to mind the equations that Malachi's worked out for this. For him, it's the math. With words of power. As Malachi utters the incantation, follows the equations of death, a minute goes past, and Malachi looks down at this.
I will say, as you are uttering these incantations, holding Osseous,
Gravemorn.
or Gravemorn,
Gravemorn?
Yeah.
With Osseous inside, yeah.
you hear a voice whisper. You feel this breeze, cold, brush past your cheek as you hear this voice. Son.
Son?
And roll a concentration check.
Ah, crap.
It's a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution
Do
saving
you like,
throw.
do you like port?
Plus
You want some?
Yeah, please.
This is a
Malachi
very
will
nice
do
port.
his best.
Fortified
Focus on
wine.
the
How
math.
much you can have the rest.
Oh,
I've
sweet.
got another bottle. So not the same one.
Yeah, I expect the bottle.
Absolutely. I think you like it.
Portuguese vino.
Because I should have.
Third level spell. Malachi will do his best to ignore that.
So what'd you roll?
I got a 17.
Okay, you're able to ignore it and complete your mathematical ceremony.
As Malachi utters the last syllable of the incantation, he looks down at this flayed body with half its brains missing, the top of its skull removed. And Malachi says, "Rise." The eyes pop open. They're cloudy white underneath. No pupils, no irises, just cloudy white. The chest doesn't rise, the heart doesn't beat, and this body lumbers slowly to its feet. Its entrails are just hanging loose, kind of dangling and swaying like a pendulum of a clock.
Is he drooling?
Tommy Likey. That is awesome.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really have enjoyed that. So it stands up, and you look to the doctor. He does not look impressed.
Oh.
This is necromancy.
Animation. Have you found the next step?
I have found, let's call it an intermediate step. A step in a different direction. Not necromancy, but the animation of flesh
Animation of flesh.
with science.
With science. I can show you my equations. With words of power. The magics.
Can he do it without grave or without calling upon the mystical energies? Can he do it? Could a layman reproduce this?
Certainly not. Power. Yes, power. This is power. But would it not be even more powerful to create one with the power of thought and the power of procreation to have a life of its own?
Have you uncovered
Not
that?
merely an undead creature to be beholden to you, to obey you, but a creature that could think and live and breathe
And breed?
and breed.
Such a thing seems fanciful to me. Come on. I don't know that such a thing exists.
In my grasp. And if you help me get the final components that I need, he will be at your command.
What do you need?
There is a plant. I will need to extract some of the diffractions. There is a chemical that it contains. Witch's Bane is the name of the plant. Unfortunately, you can only find it where witches live.
I
do not
think
know
we
which.
can. I think we can manage that. I
Not
can
far from here.
Ah!
lead us right back to her.
Excellent. It is as if
Yes. Which is Bane.
the very fates have brought you.
How much of this plant do you need? A cartful, a handful, a sackful,
A bushel.
a bushel. A bushel of Witch's Bane.
The
Gonna
swamps.
do again? What is this witch's thing gonna do?
Help him to do his big thing that Malachi's all excited for.
And you call that
Now,
is
there
that
may be
dead
a
body or
way.
live body?
Well, it's
The golem guy.
dead right now, but he wants
We're
to give
trying
it.
to
He
bring
wants to
to life.
animate it. He's basically creating Frankenstein.
Yeah,
right?
not through
Frankenstein's monster.
spells or through divine interference,
Through science.
through science.
And there are flesh golems in D&D. So in a sense, he's creating a flesh golem.
But this would be able to procreate, to mate this with a slave woman and create some half hybrid.
Oh, we have to play that.
That would be awesome. Red?
Oh.
Would you
A
bear
slave
this,
woman.
this child?
Hello.
Does he just...
He
Big
just rips her
monsters.
apart, pulls her arm off.
Joseph, the amazing
Yeah.
Technicolor cock. Just
He's like, no! You cannot kill the woman!
imagine giving birth to that
That
undead.
monstrosity.
Oh,
It would kill her,
yep.
you know.
That'd be awesome.
If you could get the impregnation to happen without killing her in the first place,
Small
you know,
price to pay.
forget
Anybody
Dor-
else?
but
Anybody
then
else thinking about Twilight right now?
Allow her.
No, just me.
No.
Allow her
What
to
Twilight is.
gestate.
Twilight.
Allow her to gestate the child. Then you'd have to cut it out of her, of course.
Well,
But
the
if
child-
you were able to get it to survive,
It would be like a parasite, like the moth that lays its eggs inside of a spider, and then it ends up
Eats it
fleeing the
out.
spider and then crawling out.
but the woman is inconsequential.
So forget Dorian. I want to go on
I
this
know.
path. This is cool. Let's do
Lady
this.
Tearle, sorry, you're on your own.
He can wait. He can rule that castle. We're going to create a
So the
flesh
way
golem.
I'm kind of thinking of this is there's multiple kind of side quests you can do in a way that will help you with your final confrontation.
Well, I think we know
with
which
Dorian.
side quest we're going to do.
What's that?
I think we know which side quest we're going to do.
Yeah.
You like that one.
Yeah.
But there's other ones that you can do as well. You don't have to just pick one or the other. You could do this one. There might be others that you'll encounter.
Is there one that involves whoring?
Yeah, well, they all do.
Perfect.
So that's kind of my take on it.
I'm just
When
not
you
the
feel
whore,
like
but maybe
you're
I can
ready,
help you find
when
the
you feel
whore.
like you have gathered enough of your own
Yeah.
power,
I'm not going to be
You
the
be our
whore.
finder.
enough allies, enough
You're not the
additional help.
Well, we're also
And you feel
taking
like
care
you're
of all
ready?
the people that used us in the beginning. And this witch has your seed
Mhm.
that you gave her in exchange for the herbs needed to help me.
There's a potion.
Yes. Well, it was a potion. So you may
To
go
restore
back
you.
and find that she has now made several little Malachis after
We'll find
impregnating
out.
herself.
We're headed her way.
She has an herb garden and
We
a
have plenty of time.
greenhouse.
So
And
we're
she's
tying back
growing-
into many of the early
Which
stories.
is awesome.
She
We
will
weren't
be
here for that,
she will
but-
be raped, don't worry. It'll be off camera.
Maybe Red wants to do some of the raping.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Now, don't involve me, but I'm not going to be the
with the
whore.
witch and then
No, you could be
I'm going to
doing
bump
the
up
raping.
against her. No. I had a question for you.
Yes.
Can I just side question?
Yeah.
I've got a crystal ball that one of them is starred.
that's an anal bead.
Crystal ball of mind reading.
Ooh.
But I want to use the crystal ball of telepathy. Telepathy. It's not
Is it
starred.
a star that I wrote?
Did I write it? Did you write? I don't know who starred
Is
that.
it written?
It was already starred.
Is it just part of the...
No, it's written in. It's a star
There's three-
next to. I'm going to show you.
Yeah, just short
Okay,
term.
then that's the one that you found. I started because that's the variety that
telepathy.
you found.
So I cannot use the telepathy right here.
No, you have the crystal ball of mind reading.
You gotta read your brother's mind?
None of your business.
Read his insane thoughts.
That would be awesome. Maybe you could
Well, I
push
was
some of
hoping-
your calm thoughts towards him.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to communicate with him
Goodness.
through the door.
What if there's multiple voices that you hear when you read his mind?
Ooh.
Awesome.
Let's let Jensen.
So I'm just thinking about it. That's all I'm doing right now, and I'm trying to figure out how to use this one. So
You're standing there at the door and
I'm
you
standing
see
there at the
him,
door.
and he's just sitting there and he's kind of rocking a little bit.
I can tell that
And
he's been
actually
tortured, hurt.
chewing on something, and you realize he's chewing on his sheet, and he's just like chewing it.
Oh, I'm so glad it wasn't his fingers, because that's what I was thinking.
His fingers all are bloody. The ends. He's already done that.
He's
Oh,
flossing
okay.
with the sheet now.
Flossing with the
Flossing,
sheet.
getting the pieces of fingers out.
Oh, geesh. I think gross, and then you guys always take it just so much farther.
Yeah,
gift.
your growth
I'm
is like
trying. Yeah,
our,
I'm like.
our preschool, if you will.
I was gonna say preschool.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I could think about preschool. So I'm looking
We'll
at
still
him. Is this the
pervert
right
that.
time for me to be thinking about him? Because I want to go on these adventures with
Well,
them.
this is like your goal in life was to find your brother.
Right.
You just found him. So I think you would focus more on this.
More than Balthazar and Malachi.
What
Since
are you
you
gonna
definitely
do
care
now?
about Balthazar
So,
and what
You
he's
know
doing.
this doctor guy.
But more so cares
Yeah.
about Malachi.
You know this
who
doctor
searches
guy
for
is
power.
using these people for experiments. He's killing them. He's cutting them up.
So my main concern now is to save my brother.
Right.
Still,
So how do you do
I'm
that?
looking at him, and this is what I've just been thinking is that while I'm looking at him, I need to protect him. He is not safe here. He's certainly not safe from this doctor. He's not safe from Balthazar, who absolutely wants to be reading his entrails and doing all the experimenting.
Just think of what the fortune I could tell for you based on your own twins' entrails. How accurate that would be.
So this crosses my mind.
Ooh!
Really?
I've
This
rubbed off on
crosses
you.
my mind.
Holy no way.
And I think to myself, I've got to protect him from even people that I'm with. I don't trust anyone I'm
I
with.
thought you meant it crosses your mind like
To let
maybe I
Balthazar
need to
do
let
this.
Balthazar read the
Oh,
entrails
no.
so I can use
Oh.
that information to gain power.
That would be like the most super.
Oh, that is kind of bad.
Unless you bore a child and then Balthazar read those child's entrails.
That would be
Oh
a
my
an
God.
even
Oh,
better
your
way.
brother's
to-
child.
So,
Yes.
Bear
so
your brother's
sick.
child. Yeah.
I just can't.
Even better.
Yes.
I'm still in
Your
preschool,
twin
and
brother
you guys are like in
impregnates you.
college of nasty.
Mitochondrial
You're in
DNA
the
from
college
being
of
impregnated
nasty.
by your twin and then we kill the child. Oh, that would be...
Dude, there would be no better reading.
No.
I mean, basically
That's like sending an email to the gods.
Fan the entire deck out and read it all.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost worth doing.
Yeah, I think it's worth doing.
In fact, Balthazar is now entertaining thoughts of like forcing you to bury your brother's child, waiting the 9 months.
So, number one person that doesn't know that Shadrach is Shadrach. It's gotta be Shadrach now. Shadrach.
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 What do
I just call him Shad.
Shadrach.
Just so you know, I'm calling him Shad.
Shadrach sounds more like a nice kid. Shadrach sounds like some badass.
Maybe you
kid.
call them Shad.
Shad.
Like we call you Red.
Shad.
Yeah. Red and Shad. So I see Shad.
Shad wouldn't have called you Red. He would have called you Shan or something.
Shanna. Yeah.
Shad and Shan. Oh my gosh.
Shad and
Oh,
Shan.
it's so
Sis.
Oh.
If you say sis, then Balthazar will know. As if the red hair wasn't a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
So, but he's got a cloak over it. It's just over his head, so you guys can't see the red hair.
Think
He's
how
just huddled
nappy
over
and
there.
ratty
Remember?
his hair probably is.
It's got the.
Lice and
He didn't have a cloak. In fact,
Oh, I gave him a cloak in my head.
oh, he did.
He's a prisoner.
No, he's in his cell.
wearing shit
Oh, I
stained
know.
clothes.
I know. I'm picturing it's a ratty cloak. It's nasty and stinky and it's gross. It wasn't like
You gotta have part of the blanket.
Yeah.
There's a thin
Maybe that-
kind of
okay.
blanket. That's what he's chewing on.
Like horse
and it's
hair
wrapped
blanket.
around him a little bit. But other than that, he's naked. He doesn't even have any clothing.
All right.
I see bed sores.
My goal right now is to keep him safe and protected. So I can't
Yeah,
let
there's
anybody know
probably,
that I've just
Like
seen him.
wounds. There's
Okay, so how are you going to do that?
like old
Yeah,
scars.
This is a big
There's
moment.
ulcerations. Yeah, it's just like filthy and disgusting.
Sort of
There's like a bucket in the corner where
intelligence
he's
in what
supposed to
you want to
shit,
do.
but it's overflowing.
It's got bot
It
flies
hasn't-
like catching from
It's
his
really
skin.
cool. What they want.
Oh
That's
god.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
No,
just
don't be
Then,
tempted.
disgusting.
okay, because
disgusting, filthy.
then it's not my goal. It's
Right.
their. Anyway,
Yeah, you would protect your brother
You need to
against
keep him
Balthazar.
away
that is
from
my
like
goal.
that.
So I've got to
Yes.
keep him away. So I made a little list of the people here, of who can I trust.
Nobody in the group.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a blank page.
Jack.
It's a blank.
Okay.
Who can I
My
trust?
turn.
Blank. Who can I not trust? Everyone else.
So I can't trust BH. That's my first thought. Malachi ? I don't think so.
Ah!
He will
Seduce.
I don't
Hey,
think so.
what if you seduced Malachi?
So that's the thing is I'm thinking to myself of how can I get somebody on
Because
my
you saw
side? How can
Lady
I
Tearle
coerce?
got Balthazar on her side.
She sucked her
Seduction.
blood or something.
Seduction and gave me a gift. So maybe you do the same with Malachi.
He's a robot. So
Sheldon.
mhm.
Mhm.
So we'll think about him. So I'm gonna put I've
Give
got
him
a
a
question mark
slight
next to him. Jack ? He's a no.
Jackson,
Jack just isn't Jack's a no. He's not intelligent enough to be able to pull this off with me.
About Lady Tearle.
This is my list.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, why you say
This
I'm
is
not
true.
intelligent enough?
It's okay. Yeah, very good.
You're right, cook you are.
Lady T ?
High five, Jack.
Question mark.
I'm gonna put a question mark by Lady T, just like I did with Malachi.
Yeah.
Bernice, I was thinking about getting to know her a little bit, seeing if maybe she could help me. 'Cause I don't know where her goals are, except for that she's kind of crazy. I don't know what she wants. Dr. P, he's a sicko. Humbert,
Proxtine would be a bad one to trust. Humbert, I mean, you're surrounded by shitty people.
Maybe Garrick. Maybe the rat folk is the only one that you trust.
thank you. I
He
didn't
might
remember
be
that.
the only one that's
Yeah.
trustworthy.
Is it
honestly.
Garrick?
Garrick's with an X.
Garrick's, yeah.
Oh, with an X.
Rix.
I always like to know how to spell my names.
I do too. That's why I ask for spellings.
I usually do.
Yeah.
When we read books together, I'm like, tell me how it's spelled, because I only listen to them, and I'm like, I need to know.
Yeah,
I
it
sit here-
helps me
I
get
type-
the name in my mind.
Exactly.
Okay, so you have your list. Now what?
So I'm gonna keep working on these people. I'm gonna have to really kind of do some sorting and some thought process, and I'm not there yet.
What do you do with
In
your
the
brother
meantime-
now? Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm looking at my brother and I'm wanting to do some mind reading and some telepathy, but don't tell him. So I'm going to listen to his thoughts for a minute. I know that he's really jumbled up in his mind, but I want to hear what he's thinking about.
So you're gonna use your crystal ball to
I am.
scry on him and do mind reading.
So I have this crystal ball. It's 6 inches in diameter. So while touching it, I can cast the scrying spell, save DC 17 with it. So explain. What does this mean to me? I don't know. I know what scrying is in magic.
So your brother is going to roll a save. His just inherent resistance to this spell
Oh, it's an extra voice in his head.
is going to attempt to block it out. And it was 17.
So, I'm sorry, is that what scrying is?
Uh-huh.
It's the extra voice in his head?
Well, you
No,
are saying
that's-
like, brother, telepathy would be like giving like
I wanna be
casting your
listening.
No, she's
voice
mind.
No, I
She doesn't
actually
have
didn't do the
telepathy, she has
telepathy. I
mind
was
reading.
just teasing about that. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. But
So
I want to just listen to whatever his thoughts are right now, because maybe it'll help me to know. Maybe he has a thought in his mind of who he can trust in his cell.
You go to all
Maybe
these
somebody
links.
brings him bread. I don't know.
I finally found you, brother. What do you see?
So, as you delve into his... So, where do you do this? Just
I'm
right
just-
where you are?
Yeah, I'm just standing outside. I'm trying to not look like I'm, but everybody's down there, playing around with Gollum.
Has he
whatever
noticed
his
you?
name is.
Has he looked at Red?
No, he hasn't seen me yet.
Okay, so you pull out the crystal ball, you feel
Yeah.
the smooth...
My back is
Oh,
turned
crystal.
towards the door where y'all are, because you're down the hall, right? I want to make sure nobody can see me, so I'm kind of just
so you're
with
kind
my
of
ball.
tucking it close and looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
As you stare down into this crystal ball, you see it diffracting the light, and then it looks like the interior of it, there's a glimmer of light. The light expands, it gets brighter and brighter, and you stare into it, and you feel like you're transported into it until you're within this image. And you're now looking at your brother from above, inside the room. And you see him, and he's still kind of doing the same thing, looking crazy. But you push your thoughts down towards his head, trying to hear and listen what's going on. You begin to hear a voice, then a louder one, then another louder one. Look out! Then, why would they do that? Where is she? Where could she be? And then just strange, disjointed thoughts here and there, some loud, intruding on the other thoughts, interrupting other thoughts. Never a thought completed. It's just chaos inside his brain. You have to finally close your eyes and blink and pull back before it drives you insane. Just feeling that sheer disorganized mess that is inside his head.
I need the telepathy.
Is there any of your brother still in there?
Can I ask that? Is there any of my brothers still in there?
Do you recognize anything of your brother?
Well, I would say that there's elements of him, but they're disjointed. They're disconnected. It's like he's been ripped up and cast into different corners of a room, and they can't find a way to reconnect and reform. But there's definitely a sense that he's still there in some way.
The door, that little door is still open, and I quietly, and I whisper out, and I'm like, Shad.
He's still just, and he's kind of like breathing and like talking under his breath and rocking. He doesn't seem to hear you.
Shad, you're okay. I'm here now.
He suddenly stops. His eyes look up and fix on you.
It's Shan.
He grabs the bed and runs and just starts slamming it against the door a couple of times till it breaks. And then he just smashes his head on the door. You hear it slam against the door and he just collapses to the ground.
Good God. That went well.
I didn't like that at all.
Wow.
Oh,
Violent.
yeah.
Quite the homecoming.
No thanks.
Good job, Red.
Yeah. Okay.
Balazar
Let's-
probably hears it and just dismisses it as.
Yeah, there's
Another
so
crazy-
many noises coming. There's other people probably doing the same thing, like basically knocking themselves unconscious on the door.
Oh, that was
Not at
awful. My heart's broken. I'm not sure what to do right now.
As you turn, you sink down against the door, and you're just sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
You're still holding the crystal ball. You hear his voice whispered, "Run, run." And he just keeps repeating it over and over again.
My. Shad, I can't leave you.
Say that out loud.
I do. Quietly enough, he hears me.
So cool.
Okay. Red stands up. She knows this is going to take some time to be able to convince him that he's okay. It's going to take her some time to be able to come up with a plan that he won't destroy because of his craziness.
Yeah, you're not sneaking him out of here
No.
right now.
It's going to take some time. We have a few days before we get the witch's bane. And he wanted a few days before he makes Gollum alive and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, and this is just me, not Balazar thinking, but if he were to be bitten by Lady Tearle and become a vampire, would he still be insane? Or do those thoughts all quiet down because now he has no brain activity? Doesn't need oxygen.
You have brain
doesn't need-
activity.
Do.
So he'll have brain activity.
But I'm not a full vampire. I'm a thrall.
Lady T, she's got brain activity.
Does
She's
she?
not stupid.
Well, but
What
is
do you mean by
is
brain
that
activity?
her brain? Because she doesn't need to breathe. She could go lay in the middle of a swamp or bury herself in dirt and be fine. Her body doesn't need
Air.
that. Is it just the blood that keeps her alive, or does her brain actually work? If you were to grant him undead life, would that free him from that prison?
In
What
this time that we
conundrum.
have, I'm going to come back over to the room that you guys are in. I couldn't be gone this long without you guys suspecting
Balazar
something.
doesn't even notice that you're gone.
Thank you. So I go back to Malachi and I'm like, Malachi, have you found the library yet?
Where's
I
Red?
did not find the library. I found the front office. And then Jack came and fetched me.
Did you see any names that you recognized?
I did not. I was cataloging the
Color
inventory of patients that
Dork.
have come through here, but
He's organizing the spoons.
I wonder if your brother has been through a place like this.
Honestly, I do picture Malachi like, this is the stack of schizophrenics. This is the stack of
Organizing. And the stacks are all.
There's this
They're
guy
like
named
the altar.
Shipwreck. Where does he go?
Malachi would do that. Come
Where
on.
does who go?
This guy named Shitrack. Where do I put him?
A lost soul. Malachi, I'm interested in finding this library with you because what I'm going to do, I'm not telling you this, but I want to go with you, Malachi, to go find
Okay.
this library.
I would like to find the library.
So when you go to look, let's look together.
Okay.
But what I'm thinking is I'm going to find out what vampire blood will do to somebody who's...
The doctor's there. You guys are in the room still.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he's kind of, he was actually, you would have, during this time, you would have been having a conversation with him where you would have gotten into some more deeper subjects regarding necromancy. And
Yeah, we can talk.
you would
Talk
gather
shop.
that
There's
he
different
has
methods.
a bit of a disdain for necromancy. And that seems to come from the fact that you are not creating true life. He feels that there is something more to be had, that undeath is not life, and that necromancy is a poor substitute
Does
for the
Lady
science that
Tearle
he's.
know that he has these views?
Do you ask him that?
Yes.
Then he would reiterate again that she has been very supportive of his work and has aided him in many ways, and that he owes her much. And she in no way discourages him, but in fact has helped to bring many of the subjects to him.
Excellent.
If you could please guide me towards the library, we will be leaving first thing on the morrow to find the Witch's
tells you
Bane.
that there's no library.
There's no library.
Merely the
What the hell?
You have your personal study, which I would not intrude upon.
yes, the books in
The
his
doctors.
personal study. Yes.
Would you share some of that knowledge? Might I peruse some of the books under your scrutiny, of course?
Do you ask Red to seduce him, spend
Roll
the night with
persuasion
him
check.
while you ransack his office for knowledge?
I simply seek knowledge. What you say intrigues me. I still see the value of necromancy, but they're all different sides of the same coin.
He says, if there was a way to combine the two.
Precisely.
Perhaps it takes a scientist and a necromancer working together. Perhaps you should share knowledge.
I would share what
Seems
I have.
distasteful.
17 persuasion. I simply seek to learn,
My gore
From
will
your
watch
notes.
you as you use my library, and if you
of course.
And
try
would
to
you
take
not-
anything out,
Would you not prefer to know what has been already attempted so that you do not duplicate work?
I have
Waste time.
extensively studied the necromantic arts. There's nothing there that I need to know.
I look at Malachi kind of scoffing how easily he dismisses your life's
He
work.
does. That's okay.
He
I can-
definitely
I
does
can
seem
take
to,
this,
I
Goffs.
mean, you can see that there's a difference
He's
in
very
what he's
haughty.
trying to do
Yeah.
versus necromancy.
Yeah.
That there's
Different goals, but they're
different
similar.
goals, but
Similar.
similarities. They overlap a little bit. But he seems to draw a disdainful line in the sand of, I am on this side and you don't know anything about.
Come, Red, let's see what we can find out in the library. In
In his
Dr. Proc's study.
The study.
study.
And what you gather is that he has gathered together here all the books and files and papers that were able to be salvaged from whatever sources up above, and has more or less created a mini library of his own there. There's a number of bookshelves all around. Some of them, especially along when you first enter the room, on the left-hand side is where the operating table is, where he seems to kind of conduct experiments and things. And along those shelves, there's more like tools and devices and things like that. Jars and beakers with chemicals and substances. But then the other side is just full of bookshelves, and they're all overflowing. There's stacks of books on the floor. I mean, this is a legit makeshift mini library. So you could conduct research in this place.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And especially if his own personal journal, his notebook.
Oh.
Well, that would be locked away
It's under his
in
pillow.
the desk, in a locked drawer. And with the sharp, swiveling, bulging eye of Mygor
Like a flounder.
watching you. His other eye just like squinted almost totally shut all the time, but the one big bulging eye is always kind of yellowish, you know? It's always just staring and watching you.
Jaundice.
So if you want to try, you can try to break into
Oh,
the
no.
desk. but
I would
Yeah.
defile
His personal
a master's.
journal or notes. There are some notes that are less personal in nature.
Scattered
More-
on his desk.
Like, yeah, there's notes of experiments and different subjects and things like that that are accessible to you.
Yeah, like does
It's
he
more
use...
so his own personal ruminations, some of his more more discrete thoughts and notes that he does not want to have shared. And you do find some of these large, sort of almost ledger-like journals that you cannot decipher
In our English.
in your common tongue. He's reaching for the spells. I knew you.
Comprehend languages.
Got it right
Yeah.
here.
It's pig Latin. I did not know.
In Piatway? Who you expect in Piatway?
Oh, good job. You practiced this.
I'm sure you had some language with your girlfriends when you were younger.
Nah, I've just been drinking.
Oh, nice.
It's just
The rantings of a madman.
This isn't a bad port either. I think the other one was
This
good
down
though.
super sweet. Really good.
They're very sweet. Ports in general tend to be that way.
It's another wine.
It's a
It's a
fortified.
fortified wine.
What does that mean?
One thing
Means
that's
it's better.
it's better. So it's concentrated. So it's higher alcohol. So like your wine is like I think I looked as 11%. This is 19%.
Yeah, this one's 20.
When you cook with them, you know how you have to like reduce wine when you cook with it. You don't have to reduce these. You just put it in because you reduce it to get the bitterness out. But these are not bitter at all. They're very sweet. Not
A
sweet
little
like
bit. I just want to see what it's like.
yeah, not sweet like your nasty one that you
No,
bought.
come on. It was delicious. Cupcake.
You should have tried the cupcake tobacco that we had.
Ugh,
No
that was
bueno.
the worst one.
All right.
So I don't have comprehend languages prepared. It's a spell that can be cast as a ritual, which
10
means
minutes.
it takes 10 minutes, doesn't use up a spell slot, but I'd still have to have it prepared
No.
to cast as a ritual.
No.
Okay, that's what I don't see. I will do that.
It's one of the main advantages of a wizard, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is the fact that you have ritual magic. So you take your spell book and you take the extra time to cast this spell. It takes 10 minutes plus whatever the casting time is.
Okay.
So it's like 11 minutes or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And so, or 10 minutes plus 6 seconds, whatever it is. And you're able to cast the spell. It does not use a spell slot, and you don't have to have it prepared. So, huge advantage for
Okay,
wizards.
perfect.
I think it's cool.
So I will
So
cast
when I
it.
played a wizard, I made a list of all the ritual spells, and I tried to get all of them.
Okay.
Because why not? It's
Right.
a free spell you can use anytime with an extra 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That's the
Yeah.
only drawback, is 10 minutes.
That's the only drawback.
And when you're in a library,
It's basically something you can use in the game as long as it's not in a combat situation.
Right.
Right? It's awesome.
okay, so when I cast it, the duration, 1 hour. For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about a minute to read one word of text. So I could read 60 pages.
Does it say anything about ciphers or codes?
It
or-
just, any written language. That's subject to interpretation, however you desire. Maybe twice as long to figure out the code or something like that.
Let me have you roll let me make it an intelligence check.
Just an intelligence check, plus 5. 14.
14. So it takes a little bit more. It's not like you just cast the spell. You're actually running your hands down the page and kind of running across, and it doesn't immediately, and you used this spell before, right?
Mhm.
So you've seen where the words almost just resolve into understanding under your fingertips as you run your finger along. You just know what they say. In this case, you have to peruse down it, you study it for a minute. After a little bit, you realize there's some sort of a trick or a cipher to it. And you're able to figure out, you understand the language enough to figure out what the cipher is. And from that, then you're able to then interpret it and understand these hidden texts that he has with just a cipher. The cipher would be in his journal, which you don't have access to. But you circumvented the need for that by using the spell. And you're able to read more about his process and techniques. And he talks about different chemical combinations that he's tried. He's tried many methods to create these, basically stitching dead flesh together and then create life out of it. How do you get life out of death? How do you what is that spark? Somebody's alive, and then you stop their heart with a chemical, and they die. You reverse that chemical, give them a shock, and the heart starts back up, and suddenly they're alive again, and studying that moment as they die, and then come back to life again. What happened in that transference? Discussions like that, which really speaks to your own heart.
100%.
Right, and so it's fascinating reading to you. So you become absorbed in reading these journals.
But his method is completely different. I see no mathematical
He's
equations.
not trying to use magic.
There's no words of power, as Malachi calls
Right.
them.
So it's not. Drawing the power from creation and kind of retuning it in a way, almost like.
So what if I combine his theory with my working
That would
knowledge?
be a
I'm going to
trick.
start on that.
That would
So
be a
that
trick.
is the augury I had, the hand holding the two wands, the necromantic magic and the science, and he is grasping them
Yes.
firmly to restore life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
I just did the
Wow.
mind blowing emoji at you.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. the
So
two
you'll begin
different
working
methods.
on that. So you have
Yes.
about there's 4 of these journals. They're kind of like large books, but not really thick.
Now you
They're
can
kind of-
memorize.
They're almost more like ledgers.
Uh-huh.
and read,
Yeah,
right?
keen mind. Yeah.
You do have keen mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pouring through them, just reading like a speed reader.
And
You're
as I'm
through
reading,
these
I'm
journals.
already trying to figure out, okay, how can I incorporate this? There's got to be some way to blend the two sciences. That would be the ultimate. I think he's onto something, I'm onto something. There's got to be a way to combine it.
And it's
And
probably
that's
going
the
to
key.
take a set of twins in order to make this happen.
Always back to Bella.
That's actually not an invalid point.
Right? The DNA is so similar.
Twins are known to have connections.
That's why the Nazis did so many experiments on them.
There are those who believe that twins are a soul split into 2 bodies. Now, how better to understand what happens to the soul at the moment of death than to use twins?
If only we
It's the
had
one
any
missing
twins.
link that the good doctor has been searching for.
Ooh.
He's been looking for twins. And you see that in his journals. If only I had twins that I could do my experiments on.
We'll watch Zombie Red and Zombie Shipwreck mating and Papa's eating popcorn, just waiting.
Malachi's
If
got
only
his
I had
notebook that he
twins that would
knows.
give me the missing component.
Okay, hold on. So that right there is a big moment for Malachi.
Do you say it out loud? Do you say something out loud at this moment about
He's reading.
what you've discovered about twins?
You don't know.
Please say it out loud.
Red doesn't know.
Now, Malachi is spending a considerable amount of time on this. What are you doing?
So, I was thinking about that. I'm really wishing he'd say something out loud because remember, I'm trying to figure out who I trust, right? As soon as this light bulb goes on for him,
But you wanted to go into the library.
I know, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm in there. But I'm saying that
Does he
if
share
I
his
knew,
discoveries
that's
with
what I'm
you?
saying. If he were to say something at this moment, if he's braille reading,
Don't do something out of game. I'm saying in game. What's Red? Are you just
Okay.
like sitting there, kind of watching as he's doing his
no, I don't care what he's doing.
research?
Are you
Okay,
reading?
what are you doing while you're sitting there then?
So I'm in there and I'm looking for a book on completely different. I don't care what he's doing. I'm looking for something about vampire blood. Vampires. Is it sucking on? Did she suck on your neck or something?
You have
Okay.
to
Do
be
that
there.
right now.
My understanding of
looking
how
for
a
any
vampire
information
works.
about vampires.
Yes, so I'm doing research on vampires. What could
So
I?
roll an intelligence
I've got
check.
access to.
This is intelligence or investigation, whichever is better.
Investigation.
That one's better. 5 and where's intelligence?
In your hand.
Oh, no, it's right there, baby. 13 plus 5, 18.
Nice.
Very good.
All right, so you do find some information about vampires. There's a small book, and it has some information about vampires. And as you read through it, There's a couple of things in there that you know are not true. But then there's some other information you're not quite sure about. And you think might be true. But you learn a little bit about vampires' strengths and weaknesses. Some of the things they're known to be able to do. You don't know if you believe all of it. There may be some untruth in this book. Not all books are 100% accurate. So you get a little bit of information.
Okay, as I'm reading, do I find anything that would help me to know whether or not it's going to strengthen my brother's mind and bring
What
him
was your
back?
roll?
18.
18?
Give me more.
That's a deeper subject. I would say in this limited amount of material.
Was this a Dr. Seuss book?
Let's go, Doug.
No, I mean it has some good information, but you're looking for something very specific and very obscure.
What if you were to ask?
This is information
a vampire?
that might need to be found in very rare tome somewhere, like some ancient research that was done. I mean, this is something not a lot of people are worried about saving their sibling
Twin brother.
from insanity by turning them into a vampire. That's a very obscure thing.
You could ask
It's just beyond
Balthazar, maybe.
it's beyond the
When you
purview
say
of
it,
this
it
book.
sounds a little crazy. But
It's a little beyond the purview of this book. If you wanted to say, are vampires susceptible to garlic? Yeah, you figured that out. Okay, but can you save someone from insanity by turning them into a
I
vampire?
need to find out if there are any
Not sure.
insane vampires in the literature and history.
You do not hear anything about insane vampires, although maybe they're all insane.
Amen.
They're
I've been
probably
around.
all narcissistic.
There's some
Balthazar
probably,
would know a little about that.
you know,
Everything I know about vampires
if
is
a
on
vampire, if you were turned into a vampire and you had a normal human brain, after 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, would you go insane? Right?
I would think that the human brain would. If you had any humanity left, surely you would. And are all the vampires insane? Maybe.
How do they behave?
And do we know about any vampire disease or illness processes? Do they get cavities in their teeth? You know,
There's one person in this building that would know the answer to a lot of those.
Balthazar. Sleep with him, and he will give you the information you seek.
BH knows nothing, and I don't trust him.
BH does nothing.
Very interesting session. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. A lot of cool things.
Future doesn't bode well for Red, that's for sure.
Oh, it's looking bad.
If we were to find out. But can you stand by and just let your brother stay here, maybe knowing he's next on the experiment table?
No, so, and what I'm thinking is that as I'm sitting there, is that bad manners? You would tell
Are you
me.
farting?
Yeah, it's bad manners.
Yeah, okay. He knows. I want to put my foot up on there. So bad.
Definitely don't put it up on the table.
Which is fine if you don't hear
I would do that too.
Yeah, if you just had socks, you just don't want to put your heel on the
That's what she did.
I did.
Naughty Misty.
Naughty.
That's why we can't have nice things. Did you try the port?
No, I haven't yet.
It's really good.
Okay.
Super sweet. Gotta give it a sniff.
Okay, yeah, what I...
So
I
it's,
roll
first
it.
it's the color. You want to admire the color.
It
You
is
hold
actually,
up to the light.
it is prettier than mine was.
Yep, it's deeper, and like that liver blood that Balthazar saw.
To the light.
Then you give it a sniff.
Ooh, I see little blue sparkles.
The reflection of the lights on the ceiling.
So give it a sniff with your mouth closed, then with your mouth open. You may notice a different aroma. Probably more muted with your mouth open, and you'll get less of just the alcohol hit and more of the flavor. And then take a little sip and savor it. Hold it in your mouth. Let it wash over your tongue and around all the different taste bud areas. And swallow it. And then after you swallow it, still, how does it feel on your tongue? What'd you think?
I'm not sure if it's from the Sour Patch Kids, but it's burning.
Probably.
Tastes like burning.
Tastes like burning.
Is that from Moral Oral? What is that?
That's Ralph from The
Ralph.
Simpsons.
Ralph, that's right.
Will you open my milk, Mommy?
Ralph, I'm a teacher.
Wow. They can quote everything and anything except for Twilight.
And scriptures?
Who would want to quote Twilight?
I know. So Red, actually, she's in there and she's reading that book, but she is a little bit brokenhearted. Thinking she
didn't
is
find
thinking
the
about.
answer she wanted.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
enough information.
So the
Not
tear
enough to go
trickles
off of.
down your cheek. Malachi doesn't even notice.
No.
I know,
not at all.
and he doesn't care, and that's fine because I actually
So what
need.
did you want to do, Malachi?
I need my privacy. I'm still talking
Yeah,
about my tears.
You turn away and you're like trying to cry quietly.
No.
while
And then I
you're-
get a nosebleed.
I'm reading.
and I get
People
a
are thinking
nosebleed.
here.
He doesn't notice me. It's fine because I needed a little bit of privacy right now.
No,
Yeah.
I needed to.
This is like Malachi finding this journal and being able to read it and being introduced to this doctor.
If he had to stab you right now, he wouldn't give it a second thought.
Oh, I know. But it's just like Misty, Red just had her moment in the hallway with her brother. He's having that kind of
Big
a...
moment.
Yeah.
He's having that
Huge
kind of a
moments
moment.
today.
Yes.
Balthazar's having his with Bernice right now.
You see, look at the picture. Imagine her
That's a
own
lot of
face.
hair to grab a hold of.
Your pelvis fracture.
Can you imagine the
Snap the other hip.
imagine the wild bush down there? It's got to be up to here.
The
It's
what?
like
The
Donkey
wild
punching the
bush
shit
down
out of her.
there, like a Pomeranian in her lap.
Big in the rainforest down here.
Oh, dying.
Wow.
Only you guys. I would not get this at a girls' night. I'll tell you
Reaches
that.
over, fondles her belly button and her nipples because they're just right there.
Same
God.
spot. I got it.
So
He's got two broken hips. That
Malachi
acid
was
just
in
shattered.
the midst of studying this
Oh,
book.
jeez.
So he reads about the twins.
Yes.
Oof.
And that's where we kind of went to Red. Is what does Malachi do when he reads that?
And does Malachi know that she's a twin?
Malachi knows because Red has said several times about her
Looking for
brother.
their twin brother.
Does Malachi know that Shad is here?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
no.
Okay, so
No, she
you have
hasn't
not
said.
been
But you are now
Okay.
more keenly interested in helping her find her brother. Maybe not for the same
So
reasons that you
Malachi
were before.
is acutely aware that he has one half of a set of twins.
Balthazar's had twins many times.
They just say they're twins, they're not really.
One was black.
Whatever. Keep going.
Okay. Okay, so Malachi's reading, committing to memory, starting to formulate ideas, how to converge the two
Yeah.
thought processes, methods. And yeah, he's fully engrossed. You could be on fire screaming and Malachi wouldn't know.
I don't care.
Yeah, neither does Malachi.
Neither do I.
This is Malachi.
Boy, we're narrowing down who's going to survive to the end of the adventure.
Isn't that so awesome? We all have little
It's
hooks
not looking good
against
for
each
Red.
other
But I still think that Red murders both of us and walks away.
with her
I
brother,
do too.
with her vampire brother,
Yeah.
Takes him out into the sunlight and catches on fire.
and dies. Then it's just Red. Now you're back where you started. Dumb blonde.
See a tear roll down her face
Redhead.
and the
Redhead.
screen goes
Oh,
black
they're
and
not
that's the
dumb.
end. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Dude.
And then roll up new characters. We're gonna play.
Or
Red
Yu
Joe
is
is
the
the first
vampire
one.
lord. But he's the actual.
Oh
Lord.
yeah, like Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Were these all
Do you not?
like
No, this
English?
is a thing.
Darth Jar Jar?
Yeah, where he's the real Sith Lord. And there's like. Anyway, back to the game. Yeah, you'll have to research the YouTube it.
Do I?
Yes.
Do
Jar Jar,
I?
Lord of the Sith. Yes.
I'm good.
There's probably a Full Metal Jar Jar you can watch too.
Full Metal Jar Jar.
Someone made a mashup of Full Metal Jacket and Star Wars. And some of the scenes are spot on.
That's pretty good. What is your major malfunction when he's got that rebel guard by the throat?
Where it talks about the Virgin Mary can come in and take a dump. Your sorceress ways, old man. Choke yourself. Sorry. Anyway.
I'm gonna be watching this and just be lost.
You have to
I
have seen Full Metal Jacket.
understand this.
And Star Wars, yeah.
I've seen Star Wars.
Good. You're halfway there. Full Metal Jacket. It's on our list.
Just watch the first half.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that how basic training was like for you?
Nope. They weren't allowed to touch you. They weren't allowed to swear at you. You didn't scrub the latrine floor with your toothbrush.
Couldn't gouge out your eye and skull fuck
You did take
No.
turns cleaning the bathrooms, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But not with our toothbrush.
No.
No.
Not
but
my fault.
it was
I
like
am
the
totally
other thing,
innocent
the
right now.
PT and the marching, the
I will
exercising.
PT you until your assholes are sucking buttermilk.
Yep. PT you until you all fucking die.
What
Yeah, it
does
was
that
like
even mean? What do any of these words mushed
So
together
I
mean?
guess that
Cast comprehend languages.
Damn.
that sergeant or whatever
Gunnery
the
Sergeant
drill
Hartman.
sergeant, he made up a lot of that.
Huh?
They had someone else
Improv a lot of
in
it.
mind for the role,
Yeah.
and someone convinced him go and do it, and he wrote up the whole 5-minute thing and just blew him away. They're like,
Yeah.
holy shit!
And
He's
dude,
really
he
done
made
this.
that movie.
It's like, yeah, this is
Oh
what
yeah,
used
he
to
made
do.
the movie. And
That's
the
a
movie
great-
made him.
Great.
Yes. We'll watch it the first half. It's perfect.
So as the two of you
Explain.
in this quiet room,
Okay, just have to-
candles burning, you're
You'll
doing
be
your
one.
research, you've had these revelations, you're sitting there trying to make sense of this, trying to figure out, calculate, how can I use this information? You know you have one half of this twin component. You know she's looking for her brother. Maybe if you find the brother, you have the other half of that component. Meanwhile, she's over there, kind of wiped the rest of her tears away. You hear this strange sound coming from the doorway. And the door is closed at this point. But Mygor is just sitting over in the corner. He's kind of one bulgy eye, just watching both of you. And you both look towards the door and you see Mygor's eye swivel over and it goes wider than it was before. You see the eye kind of bulge out a little bit more and just kind of sticks out. And then he turns away and you see him pull his ratty old cloak that he's wearing over his back and he huddles into the corner. And you look at the door and you see under the bottom of the door there is flesh just creeping under the door, and as it comes through the bottom of the door, it starts to lift itself up as a face lifts up. Boneless. It's basically the skinned remains of something or someone as it has slithered underneath the door and pulls itself up. And you hear...
A human invertebrate.
It's like the
Slug
skin
man.
of some the cast-off skin of one of his experiments.
I was gonna say it's the one that just died.
It's come through the door. You're not sure, but roll initiative.
No, I'm not there. So
You're not
this
there.
sucks.
It's just the two of them.
Oh, natural 20. 22.
What do you do?
You command it?
So it's
Wait, I'm not 8. I'm 12.
all.
Okay.
Is it all the way in the room? And can I
It's
see
Coming
past
under
it?
the door. You can't see past it.
So the door's just shut. There's
The door's
no.
shut. There's a little gap, and it has just pulled itself under, and it, even though it has
Like
apparently
an octopus
no
can fit through
bones,
anything.
yep, it is lifting itself up, and you see a face, clearly human face.
Oh.
Who's first?
Me. Okay. I'm casting a spell.
Chill touch.
Just
Just giving you
chill finger.
Chill touch is good. Only after you've used your other spells.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Casting a spell.
Alright.
You've never seen Malachi cast this spell. This has been something he's been working on just on the side. It's not necromancy. He utters his incantations. You don't feel that darkness. It's not necromancy. It doesn't leave it bad taste in your mouth as he utters this spell. He's holding Gravemorn, and as he finishes the spell, he sweeps Gravemorn in an arc towards the door, and this wall of force appears in a semicircle, like containing the door.
Really?
Mhm.
Cast Wall of Force?
He casts Wall of Force, the 5th level spell.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's his newest spell.
That's one of the best spells in the game.
An invisible wall of force springs into existence at a point you choose within range. The wall appears in any orientation you choose, horizontal, vertical, and I'm doing like a semicircle around the door. Okay? Free floating, you can form it into a dome or sphere, a radius of up to 10 feet, so I'll do that. It can 10 foot by 10 foot panels, each panel, okay, yep. 1/4 inch thick. It lasts for the duration, concentration 10 minutes. Okay?
It's an amazing spell.
Nothing can physically
you have a
pass through the
barbarian
wall.
rushing at you?
Wall of force. Nothing can physically pass through the wall. It's like a force field, a barrier, a shield.
I'm thinking about the invisibles.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is immune to all damage and cannot be dispelled by dispel magic. A disintegrate spell destroys the wall.
So Malachi casts this.
Okay.
Utter the incantation, cast your hand across, and there's a shimmering light that appears and then vanishes. What do you do?
Well, it's going for 10 minutes.
You don't know anything about that.
You've never seen this spell before.
You don't know anything.
Malachi has never cast it before.
So there's
It looked like it just
There's a
fizzled
sphere.
out. Something was supposed
You don't
to happen.
see it though. It vanishes.
Oh.
It is
It's
invisible.
invisible now.
You probably
You
saw
saw-
something.
Yeah, shimmering light for a second and then it vanished. You don't know what he did.
what I'm going to cast or what I was going to do is going to not have any effect because of his.
You don't
But
know
you
that.
don't know that.
So you should do it. Because it's what Red would
And are
do.
you going to do fire in this
Oh, in the study.
study?
No.
Sorry, Dr. Proc. We
Yeah.
burned your study.
It's a burning hands is what I was going to do.
Shit.
So it doesn't take care of the books. It's only on that
Unless it hits the wall
Slop.
and goes up to the
that's coming
bookshelves.
through.
So you do burning hands?
Do
On-
do what Red would do.
The lights
On-
turn to red, red, red.
Yeah.
Flesh.
Just on the flesh blob.
Okay.
It's what Red would do.
You hold your hands out as flames gout out. And you see them hit an invisible barrier and they wrap around, licking towards the ceiling,
Shit.
off to the side.
What'd you do?
You see a few of the books off to one side light on fire.
Doctor.
The creature pulls itself the rest of the way out from under the door. It rushes forward and then hits against an invisible barrier. And it just starts pounding on the barrier. A second one pulls itself under the door and follows and presses against the barrier as well. Both of them pounding against some invisible dome-like shape. You notice the room begins to start to smell like smoke and fill with smoke.
Oh,
as
great.
A few books are
Great.
burning now. Malachi, you're up again.
That's exactly what Red would have done.
Put out the
That's okay.
fire.
All I've got is fire
You hear
spell.
Malachi yell, "Put out the fire!"
Fire.
You put
And
it
then
out
what
with
do you
more
do?
fire.
I'm going to maintain concentration.
Okay.
Malachi would definitely focus on put out the fire. Don't let it destroy the books.
The books.
Save the books.
Red, what do you do?
Wish that he would have told me what he was doing
So you have
because
a jar
he's just
that
like any
turpentine
man.
is
What are you
nice
doing?
that You can use to
Don't
sprinkle
take
on
too
the
much
fire.
time. You know what Jensen does?
There
with
are
that?
on the other side of the
Put out the
room,
fire.
on the more of
I don't
kind
have
of
any
the
way to put out a fire.
experiment,
What's fire
How
smells?
would Misty
the
put out
operating
fire?
table
Water.
side. There are some jars
Okay.
with some liquid in
Oh,
them.
there's some jars with
Red
liquid.
for water.
So
There
on
are
the
some
other side
jars
of the
with
room,
liquid. There's one jar.
Do they
there's a
have-
jar with a fetus in it.
With a what?
A fetus.
It's a
you
baby.
can beat the
I thought
fire
it
out
was a
with the
phoenix.
fetus.
And I'm like,
Phoenix.
ooh, I want the phoenix.
There's another jar with a brain in it.
But there, anything that has a little hand or anything in it, it's gonna be flammable. What it's soaking in. That's not gonna be water. It's
Okay.
flammable.
Okay.
On the desk is the big pitcher of water that the doctor was drinking from. Water in a glass, and so I take that and I'm throwing it at at the books.
I'm down
I'm
for
saving
that.
the books.
Okay. I like that. I would
I'm
say
a water drinker.
Of course he's gonna drink some water.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Or whiskey.
Anyone that's alive has to
Not
drink some
whiskey.
water.
Could be spirits.
But
Nope.
there is
Could
a
be
slim
vodka.
chance it could be whiskey.
It is
Roll a
water.
percentile dice.
That's the
Thanks, boys.
2 tens. You know how to
Heavy
do
drinkers?
percentile?
We're escalating the
Start
danger.
telling again.
Do you know how to roll percentage?
No, baby, that's why I asked. Is it this
Tell
one?
her
And the
how.
other.
And
It's
the
2d10.
other 10-sided dice.
It's just like it, but it has single.
Yep.
There you go.
Both of them?
Yep. Then read the big one
34?
Yes.
34. Okay, you're safe. You grab the pitcher of water, you turn and you splash it onto the books, goes out.
first. And
And
you
you
see ink
managed to
running
put-
down from the books.
You what?
You see ink running down the pages.
You see, yeah, you
Ink.
put the books out and you damage a bunch of the books that are on that side. But you manage to put the flames out. You see these
Very well.
creatures continue pound as a third pushes, the head comes through, and it like peels under and then arcs up as this face kind of comes into view. And then the rest of it pulls itself forward.
That was underneath the
comes
sphere?
underneath, no,
Under
the
the
door.
Oh.
So a third one
Third
joins
one.
the other two, and they're all just pounding on this invisible
Oh.
barrier that
Where's our
Malachi is
friends?
holding. Now, you kind of have some time here. Is there anything you want to do? You're sort of out of combat. You can hold the barrier, and they just pound on it. There's
Okay,
nothing
hold
they
it.
can really do.
Shout.
But you have 10 minutes.
Yes,
Sorry,
10
that's
minutes.
Is this Burning Hands? Is that just a one time? I can't remember how these work.
Once per day.
Once per day, so that one's done.
Thank goodness.
How about fireball?
That was
put
almost
firebolt away.
disastrous.
That was your fault.
It's
But I love it. I
It-
love
it-
it. There's a
it
little
is.
smoke
No,
haze
that's
on the
perfect
top of the
role playing.
ceiling.
We role played well.
No, it was fun.
It's
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
shout,
so
shout for Dr. Proc and Balthazar.
you can.
Scream
I'm
like
getting
a
my-
woman can
I'm
scream.
Now,
my
they've
bow
been
out.
doing research. Very boring. What has Balthazar been doing?
Bernie?
This is probably an hour into your research.
He has
or more,
gone to
maybe.
check on Lady Tearle to make sure that she's comfortable. And see
Okay.
if she needs anything.
Coward.
If she needs any,
Well, I would
Refreshment.
say that
Balthazar's
Balthazar is otherwise.
Okay.
he is.
Yeah,
His skilled hands are busy.
You should make
Yes.
jokes.
He is.
He offers her a
satisfying-
drinking straw.
He's satisfying multiple thirsts,
Indeed.
hunger and thirst.
Wait, was this sexual again?
And if Bernice wants a piece, Bernice can come and just tongue that butthole all she wants.
Bernice is resting in her room. She's
No,
broken.
Bernice is taking her second afternoon nap. she
She's
needs
on-
many naps.
She's got some oxy. She's
All right,
got-
so
Wrapped
Balthazar
up in a little
is
afternoon.
out of the
Shuddering.
scenario. Now, you guys are
Memories.
shouting and yelling.
Uh-huh.
You don't know if anybody
can hear
hears
us.
you,
Jack is where?
so you're not sure.
Okay.
So about 5 minutes pass. You know,
What?
you have about half of your spell time left. Is there anything else you want to do?
And you got Mygor in the room.
I'm going
as
to do
well.
something before it
Mygor
runs
is
out.
off in the corner, yeah. And Mygor just is still huddled there with his cloak over, and you can see kind of like shuddering a little bit, just shivering in fear.
I throw my wolf bite ring on,
Okay.
which has 3 charges, regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. When you make a melee weapon action wearing this ring, you can use a bonus action to expend one of the ring's charges to deal an extra 2d6 piercing damage to the target.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing some bow action.
Is that
Is
attuned?
bow too close?
Is that
right?
an attuned item?
Requires attunement.
A what?
She's
Oh, I'm
had
sorry,
it for a
what?
while.
Okay.
We've had these for a
Does
while.
she have enough slots? So you can only be attunement is a mechanic in the game. You can only have 3 items attuned to you, magic items. If they
Well, it's
require
these 3
attunement,
right here.
This one
Okay.
doesn't say attunement. That's
But
a
where are
potion
they
of...
seeing?
Okay, see,
Oh, okay.
attunement
Thank you.
and
Okay.
attunement.
I have
Okay.
2.
She
So you
has
could have
2.
those 2, so you could already have it attuned to you.
Yeah, she has
so,
no magic weapons or
Okay.
other magic items.
So you should be good.
So many rules.
Attunement
So-
is basically,
That's
it's a
what the DM
mechanic to limit the amount of magic items. You can't just have
10
50 magic
rings.
items and just be like, yeah, I grab this one and this one. So it limits it
Okay.
to a reasonable amount.
Okay.
And that's really the real reason. But So you
So
could
the
use
point
it.
of that is just to give me a little bit of an extra action, right? That's what my purpose is.
Well, more damage.
You
when
can-
More damage.
It's more damage to
You
me?
can use.
No,
Oh,
it
I-
says your enemy.
Okay, just
Oh.
read it. When you make a melee weapon attack, melee meaning a sword,
I know. Yep.
you can use a bonus action.
Yep.
To deal an extra 2d6 piercing damage.
You skipped a sentence, but yes.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it was superfluous.
Okay.
You look that up later.
It's right next to mansplain.
I hate you.
Oh.
Did you wrinkle your paper?
It's okay. I might have deserved it a little.
He did deserve it for sure. A lot. But it was funny.
And the target must succeed on a DC 15 strength saving throw to be knocked prone.
So-
or be knocked prone.
If you think you can go hit it with your sword, that would be a good thing.
Oh, so this would be better, because that's what my question is I don't know how close they are. I don't know how small this room is.
you don't
Am I
have
going to be
any
doing a
other
sword or a
rings to
bow?
use or other items to attune to, so you still have that on, right?
Yeah,
So you probably have it
screwed
on
Use
all
it
the
any
time.
time.
okay. So it's on.
But I'm saying
I just need to remember that it's there
you,
then. So
you know, Malachi would probably tell you. We've got about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What
now
do you
he
wanna
knows
do
he
to
needs to clue
prepare?
me into what he did.
What do you? Is there?
I've
Are
got
there any
them contained.
preparations you want to make? Is there any sort of?
When we get to 9 minutes, I'm casting a spell, and I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm
Okay.
just hoping Balthazar, I'm hoping
So you're going to
Balthazar
continue to yell and shout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the top of your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a Constitution check.
Ooh, see if it breaks concentration.
Not necessarily. I would say you can concentrate. You're not going to
Just a
so hard
con
and roll break
check
concentration.
plus
There's
one.
This
probably
is
a little
more so-
smoke in here.
Oh, okay.
Smoky air.
That's a good point.
Makes sense. 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're shouting as loud as you can. Are you doing the same?
While
or is
I'm
there something else you
concentrating,
want to do?
There's nothing else that I can see that I would want to be doing.
Okay.
I'm just getting my sword out and I'm prepared.
Okay.
But I would yell too with him. I wouldn't just
You
stand
can roll
there.
a Constitution check as well.
I got a 20.
Natural
Natty.
20.
Natural
Natty.
20.
Plus 1, 21.
Wait, where did
right.
you get that? I'm sorry.
As your
just
tongue deep
Constitution
in
I don't ever know if it's
Lady
this one,
Tearle's
this one, or this one.
posterior.
That's why it takes me so long.
I hear
I
someone.
can help you here.
she says, "Wait,
It's okay.
do you hear that?"
Yes, my lady, I'm almost there.
It's okay.
He's with Lady Tearle right now.
There's something wrong. Go and see what it is. As you rush off, wiping your chin and face.
So he was just sexing with
Wipe
her.
it off.
I don't know. I was paying attention to them. I was paying attention.
And rush out unarmored,
Probably not even clothed.
Yeah.
naked.
Totally naked.
Woohoo!
So you grab your sword and rush out. Okay.
He
So
doesn't
I'm dual wielding now.
Yeah, a sword and a.
And a joust.
A caltrope.
So you rush out, and she was down in lower level, actually, below
Ooh.
this level that you
So I gotta
just
go
found.
up.
And you have to go up a set of stairs, not far, but you'll find your way there. It may take you.
The door
a minute.
swings open, and naked, heaving,
In the basement?
sweaty Balthazar stands there holding Nightwoe. What is it? And he sees the scene that's before him. Malachi, what have you done? Is this your doing?
Now, where
You see
hold
that
on.
his
We need
voice, his
clarification.
mouth is moving like he's talking, and you do not even hear his voice.
'Cause
But
he's
you see
within the
before
bubble?
you,
But where do we see him?
he has opened the door, and these three
Oh, that door.
fleshy creatures. That's the only door into this room.
I'm like, what are you doing?
So you have shoved the door open, and you see these three fleshy creatures turn towards you.
Damn. And it's at 9 minutes,
Nice.
9.5 minutes now.
I would say it's been.
Because before 10 minutes, I knew what I was going to do.
You still have about 3 minutes left on your spell.
Okay, when Balthazar
When
opens
Balthazar
the door.
flings the door open, and you see they're mid-slam, and then they turn towards Balthazar. Roll initiative, Balthazar.
I thought we yelled at 9 minutes.
We've been yelling since like minute 1.
13.
Okay. Because you were going to do something at 9
13.
that you
Yes.
haven't done yet.
Okay, so you're
Correct.
gonna go
Very good.
It wasn't
between
It's okay.
Malachi and Red, and then the enemy goes at the end. So what do you want to do? You see these creatures turn towards you. Malachi, you could react. You see him flip the door open and his mouth moving, but you can't hear what he's saying.
Okay.
This bubble that you've created blocks sound
Do you
too.
have a spell to hear?
I'm just wailing.
And then these things turn towards him. You have a chance to react before it's going to be his turn.
Hold on, Misty. I'm looking at
I'm gonna go
spells. Okay, good idea.
You're like, stop talking to me.
He's thinking! Damn it!
I know.
He's plotting!
I know.
I am. Let's see. Give me just 1 sec. Malachi's quickly running through what
And you would know...
he might be able to do.
You've been maybe experimenting with this spell a little bit in your free time, like kind of like casting a version of it and trying to cast a spell. You would know that you can't cast spells through this.
Right, but I can drop it, and then what would I do next? You're going to say, don't use catapult.
No, I won't.
You might.
I love catapult. I think it's a great spell, and I love chill touch. But if all you're doing is chill touch,
Yeah, no.
I will call you out on that.
Very good.
Do something a little more fun.
And I have been.
Have fun.
Can you catapult your chilling touch?
If you can tell me chill touch is the most fun thing you can do right now, then I'm all about it. But if there's anything else you can do that seems more fun or interesting, do that instead. If you just shit yourself and throw it at one of these things, that would be more fun than chill touch.
Okay. Here's what I'm doing.
He's like, I'm shitting myself.
I am casting a spell. This is the spell I had prepared. I'm just going to change the target. So,
Haste.
dimension door.
Oh.
I'm going to grab red. I was going to take us up to the study because I know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I can take us past Balthazar.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Just into the hallway behind him.
Uh-huh. Yep, so I'm
see.
going to grab red. Hang on, red.
And it's not a
hanging
concentration
on.
spell, so you can do that and maintain concentration.
Mhm.
You know that?
Mhm.
Okay. So, Malachi grabs Red's hand. Do you go with him, or do you resist?
I go with him.
Okay. So,
So I grab your hand. I quickly speak another incantation. And suddenly you kind of feel lurched out of reality. Just for a moment, everything twists and shifts. You don't even know if you're right side up or upside down. And then we reappear. You kind of stumble a step. Malachi still holding your hand. We're in the hallway behind Balthazar.
how far behind
Oh.
Is it? Was it a hallway or was that
It's
the
a hallway.
bigger room? It's a hallway. Probably about 15 feet.
If it's
15.
telepathy,
15 behind Balthazar?
Yes.
wait, is that the one where you move from one place to another?
Yep.
Then why not go somewhere far, far away?
You don't go line of sight. You have to be able
No,
to see.
No.
not with
Oh,
this
no.
You
one.
go up to 300 feet.
Far
that he-
500.
500 that he can, if he is aware of it, or just in a direction.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Go farther.
Not with Balthazar there.
We don't care about him.
What's done is done.
It's too late. He
So we're
already
in the
did it.
hallway behind
So,
Balthazar.
Balthazar's turn. What do? You see, you throw this door open. You see this in an instant. You see what's happening. These three things turn towards you. They look like the skin of human beings with nothing within them.
We've been
Just the
inflated.
sloughed
slightly.
off skin. Yeah. Floppy. They've been pounding it. They turn towards you, and then Malachi grabs Red, and they vanish.
I will grin looking at these creatures, and I turn and I almost, like you see the guys that like run up against a wall and do a backflip, but I run up against the wall and climb all the way up to the ceiling, so I'm hanging upside down, looking down at them, and I just bring Night Woe into bear.
Okay.
Hanging upside down, little Night Woe is
So you
slapped down
you're
against my
running
belly.
along the wall to the side. As you've opened the door, you're gonna run up the wall.
Yep.
Okay. As you do that, you hit a point where your foot hits something invisible,
Is that a shot?
and then you realize you're upside down. Your head is you're about 6 feet tall. Your head is only about 4 feet off the ground.
Nice.
well within reach of these creatures, and you're standing on something invisible in the air above them.
Oh man, when that goes away, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but you turn upside down and swing night
Upside down with night woe.
Malachi, you're looking through the door and you see Balazar basically do this flip, and he's standing upside down as he's just swinging through the air at these things.
That's new.
25 versus armor class.
That hits.
10 slashing and 3 frost damage.
All right.
I followed up with my extra attack. 21 versus AC. Ooh, for 16 slashing and 4 frost damage to the same bag
You
of
cut
flesh.
across it. It cuts deep across this thing, almost like ripping all the way through it. Your second slash cuts the head the rest of the way off.
Nice.
As the head drops away, the entire sack of
It's like
skin
Deflates.
deflates and falls to the ground dead.
So,
One down.
I have Relentless Assault. After killing an enemy with a
One,
melee
three.
weapon, I may move half my speed and make an additional attack.
Nice.
Once per turn.
Nice.
So I will just shift maybe a step to the side and make an additional attack. 23 versus armor class.
Yeah.
11 slashing and 4 frost damage.
Nice.
And that's my
All right.
turn.
Good turn. Red. You're 15 feet from where Balthazar was, which means you're about 20 feet away from where he currently is, and these creatures are 20 to 25 feet away from you. And one of them fell to the ground, cut into pieces.
Dead.
Just cut to ribbons.
I thought you said he was
As
dead.
far as you know, it's dead.
So there's two of them that are coming
two of
at
them.
him.
Yeah, they're like looking up at him, and they look like they're gonna just like swing their rubbery.
Are they aware
Like-
of us? Like where we went?
It's like a human with no bones or
yeah.
muscles or anything. It's just skin. It's just like a rubbery skin suit. They're just
The wavy arm guy out front of the cargo ship.
yeah, it is grotesque.
Are they aware that we're
They
behind
seem to
them
be
now?
focused on him right now,
Okay.
and he's buck-ass naked, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Gotcha.
You probably wonder, having seen me now naked,
Uh-huh.
you're somewhat
How I
taken
could have
aback.
resisted.
Your breath is quickened.
The bile
You
rises
think that's
to the
what I'm
back.
thinking?
The bile rise. More accurate.
Aww.
Bile
Oh, look, see, she's so sweet.
You see, there's
She's
like
oh no,
bite marks all
You're
over
too
my
nice.
dong.
little vampire.
To BH I am.
Some of the bite marks are like child's teeth, like little baby
Where's
bite marks.
bite marks? I'm sorry.
All
What?
over my dong.
Now don't distract her. It's her turn.
Yeah, what
Like
do you
someone ate
want
it
to
like
do?
a cup of corn.
Anybody got some butter? Yeah, so I'm going to 15, 20 feet. 20 feet. 20
You're
feet.
20 to 25 feet away from the two creatures. You're 20 feet from him. They're a little bit past him, inside the room.
You said 15 and then 20 away from the creatures, and then you just changed it to another 5 feet.
Deal with it.
Okay. You're the boss.
Time and space are the universe is expanding. So.
5 feet per.
Trent said that you
Around.
wanted to teleport 15 feet past where he was. He
Yep.
ran into the room another 5 feet, up into the air, and his enemies were another 5 feet past.
I'm with
Ish.
you.
So I'm saying
All the
20 to
math.
25. So just, what do you want to do?
So I'm going to do my bow
Okay,
from this distance.
good call. So you grab your
Yeah.
bow, draw an arrow, take a shot.
Don't hit Balthazar.
Whatever, just a dong.
Just roll.
And he is upside down, so his dong is slapping him into
It's
the
like
face.
right up on, against my
It's like
chin.
in his face, like in his chin. He's like, oh, oh, oh. Getting in his mouth.
You gotta tell
Yeah,
them.
oh, tastes like vampire. Oh.
Attack.
They're busy talking about other stuff.
Tastes like
Which
Igor.
is 17.
Bernice.
I wanna kiss
Bernice is Quim.
Oh.
Are
Sorry,
you ready,
what does
boss?
that do?
Yes,
You ready,
go
boss man? 17.
Yes, that hits.
Oh dear.
17 to hit.
To hit.
Okay, you hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yes, I did. 8.
You're doing your wolf things
8
with melee.
damage.
And then I'm going to do this one. Huh?
Ooh,
I was thinking
you
that
put
too.
an arrow
Very good,
directly
very good.
through its head.
Yeah, I did.
It just keeps on moving.
Does it sag
What do you
in
mean
like
it
the
keeps on
skin
moving?
hanging down, or does
It's
it
not
pass
dead.
right through?
It's not dead.
It's not dead.
It would
Or
pass
stop
through
moving.
probably.
Yeah.
The
There's
skin
not
is
much
too thin. It
resistance.
just passes through the head and then hits the invisible barrier and breaks
So
apart.
like on Buster
not you.
Scruggs, you can see light shining through the hole.
Dude, I
What's
love
Buster
that.
Scruggs?
I love that
awesome.
part.
What?
Did
If
you
you
hear
have
what
not
she
seen
just
Buster
said?
Scruggs,
Something about her arrow.
What's Buster Scruggs? I know.
Headshot.
I'm not surprised.
I have seen
have
every
one shot or
episode
two?
of Grey's
Do
Anatomy.
you have 1 or 2 shots of arrow?
What?
Can you take 1 or 2 attacks?
I get an extra attack.
Roll again.
I am. Same.
Yep.
18.
That hits. Go ahead
Nice.
and roll damage.
Woo! 8 again.
Nice.
8 more. That drops it.
It
As
is
the,
enough.
the second arrow shoots through it.
That one!
That one she knows.
Woo!
Yeah, the second arrow shoots through it, shatters similarly behind it, and then the thing just deflates and drops to the ground like a loose sack of.
Balhazar's used to that feeling.
Like
An
dropping a
elephant's trunk.
used condom on the. All right, that is Red's turn. It's now the remaining creature reaches up and is going to use its crushing embrace
Ooh,
on
sweet.
Balthazar. So.
We're almost 69ing because of
That's what
our
I'm
relative
saying.
It
positions.
reaches up, grabs you. Go ahead and roll a strength saving
Not
throw.
my turn yet.
I have a big plus on this. I have a plus 9. Ooh, and I rolled a 5, 14.
Oh, just enough. You shake this thing off. It reaches up and its hands, and it tries to basically engulf you with its flat, limp body.
Good thing I'm sweaty.
You're
What I was just
sweaty.
doing.
There's nothing for it to grab onto. Its hands slip up, and you just shove it away, and it falls back to the ground, and then tries to rise back up, and it's your turn.
As it
Or no, it's Malachi's turn.
Malachi's
Sorry, I don't want to
Malachi?
skip you.
Yeah.
We'll get back.
My turn. Myself.
Your okay.
So grotesque.
Red's arrow that clanked against the, went through the creature, hit the barrier, dropped to the ground. I'm gonna point to it
Catapult it
and
through.
flick it back.
Nice.
Catapult level 1. It needs to make a dex saving throw, DC 18,
That's 13.
and I think it's 3d8. 3d8. Bludgeoning damage. 14 bludgeoning damage.
All
Or it
right.
might be piercing damage from her arrow as it just flicks
Let's
back.
go with piercing.
Okay.
What if it goes through in reverse, and then it might be bludgeoning? The
Oh, the
fletchings go through
fletchings.
first.
The feathers.
Yeah.
Fletchings.
It takes. It has resistance to bludgeoning. We're gonna go with piercing.
Piercing, because it's an
So
arrow.
the arrow, like the shattered off shaft from the arrow shaft, and the arrow just pierces right through it, but it's still standing.
Okay.
More or less.
That was Malachi.
All right.
My
Yeah,
first
BH.
roll, I rolled a 1 for my first attack.
Ooh. What
Your
does-
first attack, what?
Against this creature, I rolled a 1.
Gah.
All right.
We were just grappling, so
You
You
were
kicked him in
just
the shins.
grappling. This is a melee attack,
Yep.
so roll
I don't think he has shins.
a d10.
Kicked him where his shins would be. 3.
You drop your weapon. Makes sense.
Lame.
no worries.
So you swing, and you've been grappling. You kind of try to shove this thing off of you. You take a swing, and
Maybe
your
it hits
weapon
the
just
floor.
flies out of your hand, and you're weaponless.
You did say you were sweaty.
Yep, I was sweaty.
Oh,
I was
makes
very
sense.
a little sweaty.
Lube.
That's
You got
embarrassing.
you
Oh, yeah.
still have some
Had
lube on
leftover
your
lube on
hands.
his hand,
You know,
especially those fingers.
and he likes the ass blaster.
So my second
Your
attack,
looped up hand couldn't hold on to your sword. Sorry, man.
as I see the sword fall away, I will just grab it with my hand, putting my fingers in the eye sockets and my thumb in the nose, and do vile hands.
Oh yes.
This is a touch attack. Oh, rolled a 20. No, sorry, 19.
Yes, that hits.
It has to make a Constitution save. Has to beat a 16.
Yeah, that's
And it has a
an
minus
8.
4.
It's an 8, so
I
minus
rolled-
4, it's a 4.
I roll percentile to see what happens.
Why there's so many numbers.
That is a 6.
I can.
Okay,
He knows.
shit.
He knows. That's what matters.
68. Incapacitated.
Oh, nice! So you grab and you dig your fingers, and you can feel your fingers go into the eye sockets of this fleshy face.
It's like
There's
grabbing
no
a bowling
eyeballs. There's no
You
eyeballs in
feel
there.
their
Yeah.
flesh
You, like,
right underneath.
Reach your fingers
yeah.
through, and you grab into the mouth,
Yeah.
and you can like basically squeeze them together.
Oh.
So you just
The whole
squeeze
face
the
is
flesh,
just
and you feel
crusting
the
my
energy
palm.
pulse out into this thing, and it flops onto the
That's
ground.
fucking cool.
nice.
Incapacitated.
And then for my move, I will drop and kind of roll and land on my feet.
Ooh,
I'm
roll
gonna
an
make a roll,
acrobatics
'cause-
check. Acrobatics.
Oh, yeah. 15
Oh, I've got really good acrobatics.
plus.
Use that more.
Plus 9. 25.
Oh shit! Yeah,
25.
you make this look good, bro. You like do a backflip off of the ceiling. You only have like 4 feet to do it, but you do this spin and land like this
And I feel
3-point landing,
superhero
and then
standing.
stand up with your
But
sword
for
in hand.
Balthazar, it's a 4-point landing because his cock hits the ground first.
Snaps on the ground.
Before your arms or legs.
Depends if that cock has been well used.
You
or
see
not
a little
tonight.
spray
yeah.
of pre-cum just fling out
Didn't you
of the
get some of
beast.
that out in her?
in Bernice. She's burying my maggoty cum as we speak.
Oh my
She's sleeping
God.
with a full stomach.
Oh,
And then I rise with
Sorry.
my
you ruined it.
She rises with night woe in hand. Oh my
Imagine her burps
God.
afterwards. A little bit of maggot.
Ah.
Oh, boo. Have some whiskey, Brandon.
Misty,
Kill those maggots.
what does Red want to do as she sees Balthazar pull off this move, and there's only one of them left? It dropped onto the ground, and it looks like it's struggling to rise up, but it
Yeah,
can't.
I'm just taking another bow.
Take
It
another
worked
shot.
really well,
She,
yeah.
she doesn't know the rule of ranged attacks against a prone target.
It's more
So
difficult.
go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
Because it's a smaller target. But doesn't incapacitated grant advantage? So would it negate it?
Do I need to hurry up? Or do you
So
have
many
it there?
confusing
Conditions
words
also.
right now.
Okay.
Strength 7 will be not
It just can't take reactions or actions.
Could this be any
The
good?
attacks against it don't have advantage.
Am I misunderstanding this?
So, this would be
So
good
it's still kind of moving.
a
Yeah.
lot.
I would still
as
say
long
you
as
have
make a
disadvantage,
melee.
especially if
I would
you're
so.
shooting past
I would think so.
Yeah.
at a creature
You can do
on the
extra
ground.
damage.
So
It's a
between
very
my
tough
legs,
shot.
And you can do it, what, 3 times
Between
a
your
day?
legs with your big dong hanging
Charges.
down.
Yeah, so I got a
Three
big old
charges.
pendulous ball sack hanging down. You got to shoot and not hit the sack and hit the beast. That's why it's.
Am I going through above the sack?
No.
No, it's like mini golf.
Under
Yep.
the sack?
Around the
Swing
side.
like a
You gotta
windmill.
wait till it slopes to one side. Time it. This is a timing. It's a
It's the
timing
windmill!
issue.
The windmill!
Yeah, it's like the windmill. Okay. So you draw upon your childhood, and you draw the arrow back, and you release. Go ahead and
Oh my
roll an
gosh,
attack.
I
You
love
roll a
it
freaking
so
1, I'm going to
much.
be pissed.
And circumcised.
I kind of want to do one. Hold on.
Here we go.
16.
Roll again.
Plus.
No,
I'm
roll
sorry.
again.
It's
roll again.
disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage. You have to take the lowest.
Oh, I do? 13 plus 8.
Oh, it's still. You breathe. He's like,
What are you?
thank you.
You
As
are
you
welcome.
feel an arrow graze your nutsack, like right at the base, you know
It
what I
draws
mean?
a little line of blood.
Yeah, it draws a
The
little line
fletching.
of
What's
blood
your
as the
what's your
fletching
plus
just
for your bow?
grazes past.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You take 1 damage.
Nice.
23. in that.
Balthazar's ball sack takes 1 damage.
Sword, 10 is for the bow.
It has its
So,
own
sorry, it was
pool of
23.
hit points.
It's still a
23
hit.
and would roll damage.
I don't think it hit his sack at all, by
No,
the way.
no.
With a
No, it
23.
grazed and
Yeah.
drew
I don't
blood.
think it grazed
It's
at
so
all.
It drew
big.
blood.
It's like a boar. You know, you see a big pig with like
Uh-huh,
the giant
uh-huh.
basketball-sized ball sack. That's Balthazar. And so the fletching
Borhazar.
grazed him. Borhazar.
You did it that
Balthazar.
time. You did it.
It left a little thin line of blood that you're going to have to heal. Like you have some
What's your
poison.
damage?
5.
5 damage. Okay.
Come
No,
on.
it's still alive.
Your first
You
attack.
want to take your second attack?
I do.
All right.
Oh, shit.
A second shot past the ball sack. You wait till a pendulum's back the other way.
And you notice Balthazar's got a little ringworm on his ball sack, so you see a little bullseye.
No!
Please don't hit it.
Why are you doing this?
A little jock itch.
You're disgusting.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Ugh, I want to hit that ball sack this time, actually.
You have disadvantage.
What is
You gotta
it?
roll it twice.
Thank you, but 6 was my lower one.
Oh,
Plus.
So it's 16.
16?
Still a
That
16.
still hits. So technically, she
And a 5
barely grazes-
damage.
Well, you're distracted by Balhazar's balls. so
Wow, the ringworm is what I'm just
Oh, dude, it's still alive. It's still alive.
What?
Yeah.
in fact, you
Wait. I
you
think
put
I've got
2
a
arrows
ring.
through it.
I've got
That's
a
only
ring.
wanna-
melee.
Remember
That's
we talked
melee.
about that melee.
We did.
But you notice there was a
Now,
tick
whose
on
turn is it?
Balhazar's ball
Malachi?
sack
This is
that
the
now
time
just
for shield
dislodged.
touch.
Did you just say
Exactly.
a tick and ringworm?
Yeah, so
You do it?
the tick
Yes.
falls off of his
Hey,
ball sack,
This
sensing danger.
ghostly
and scurries
spectral
towards
hand
the
appears,
body of the dog.
crackling with ice. You see some
It's all
crystals
bulbous and full of
dripping
blood.
down from it as it drifts
How
through
can
the
Lady
air.
Tearle even look at
It
you?
grazes past Balhazar's
I have
ball
no
sack,
words.
which draws up, retracting from the
Well,
cold.
I had a taint tick that fell off of
He
me
had a
and
tick
scurried up the
and
ground.
ringworm.
Oh God!
Right? And it all
Okay.
just pulls back
27
up.
to hit,
Yes.
and then max 16
Ooh.
How do you want to do this?
damage. So that skeletal hand reaches out. Malachi clenches his fingers, and the skeletal fingers clench. And you see the black little inky tendrils start to spread over this creature because it's necrotic. Does it have resistance to necrotic or anything like that? Okay, the black inky tendrils start to go over it. It opens up its mouth in a silent scream, and the tendrils go inside, and the creature's eyes go.
It has no eyeballs.
Has
It's
no
just empty
eyeballs?
eye sockets.
And it collapses to the ground, and the black things envelop it, and then it just kind of crumbles away.
Like a freeze-dried wart.
And then it dries to the ground like
Like it crusts onto the ground.
in crusts.
Yeah.
See? Chill touch. Ugh.
If it's
Yeah. See,
if
that's a good place to use it. Okay.
If it's
almost
not too
dead,
late,
you just had to finish it off.
Balhazar is going to do his ungodly sense to see if there's any undead within 60 feet of where we are. If there's any more of these.
You sense the residue of the undead on all
Like on
three of
these
creatures.
bags. I think
Cool
our
creatures.
doctor is dealing with
They're called
forces he cannot comprehend.
Boneless.
Boneless.
And
Nice.
And
From-
that's legitimately what they are.
from what book?
The Tome of Beasts.
No? Yes.
Not the Monster Manual. I've never heard of these.
Van Richten's Guide to Rain.
Ooh.
Oh, I have that book. Okay.
They're cool.
He was
Balhazar
making
is
notes
not boneless.
of boneless creatures.
Balhazar runs back with a new bone.
That cool breeze he just felt.
Now, you do notice that he did come to your rescue. He came and rescued.
I did.
And then came again.
And you'll notice that Malachi teleported behind you, and he and Red joined the fight.
No, he did not abandon you.
I did. I am also. I mentioned having been privy to the conversation with the doctor and his disdain for necromancy. I tell him I sense the undead presence in these bags of flesh. I think the good doctor is dealing with powers that he does not understand. Perhaps you can educate him.
Perhaps he and I need to combine our knowledge.
Like his card.
Yes. Where is the good doctor? He needs to be made aware of this.
I can smell the burning smoke in this room.
That was Red. We had an incident with fire in the library.
Know you a spell of mending that you might repair these, or prestidigitation to
I know not of such spells.
Say that word again.
prestidigitation?
Most wizards have it.
It cleans things. So
That's what Mygor is for.
here, Mygor, polish this.
And
Yes,
you see
master.
Mygor finally pulls the cloak back, the big glaring
Pulls the
eye.
ringworm right out of it.
Mygor, have you ever seen creatures like this before?
What
The
is your
ringworm?
master doing?
I have seen them before.
Why did you cower in fear?
Yeah, they will not bother my door. They seek the master.
Who sends these creatures? From whence do they come?
Michael does not know. Do not beat me, please.
Mygor is full of lies, and I will lay vile hands on him.
Please, beat me. Do not beat me.
He needs to beat a 20 Constitution save.
Oh shit! Mygor succeeds.
Oh, holy crap.
So I grab him forcefully, and I'm amazed that he resists.
Yes, mister, yes.
And he actually seems to enjoy it. That's why it doesn't have the full effect.
It doesn't work if they like it. It's not rape if they
You're
want
like,
it.
ah, shit. So what does it do if he succeeds?
Nothing. Has no effect.
Oh, okay.
I just grab him, and I'm
He
kind
seems
of stunned.
disappointed.
Yeah. I will find my mister. Yes.
Tell him that some of his creations
The hump
have
is
escaped.
definitely on the other side.
Nice. Did he shift it over to the other side?
Yeah.
Part of his costume.
I will tell him whatever you wish, mister.
Tell him to come here, quickly.
Yes, mister.
Trouble
Yes.
afoot at the Circle K.
As he goes slumping off down the hallway.
I'm going to investigate these creatures. Do they taste like necromancy to Malachi?
Taste.
You lick them?
Oh, I can sense the on Arcana check. Do they
You can roll an Arcana check.
feel like they're surrounded by the necromantic powers? 18.
You sense it's interesting because you've detected your own necromancy. You've studied necromancy. You've encountered it. That other people have practiced necromancy, and this feels different. It would be like if necromancy had almost like a earthen quality to it, where there's some sort of
Taste of the grave.
yeah, there's some sort of like the origin of it does not seem like somebody created it. It feels more like it was a natural creation of a process deeper, right? Like a fungus or something, like
Cordyceps.
it's some sort of an offspring or an offshoot of a process that had to come to bear. It's necromancy, but it feels different. It's like
Oh, it is necromancy.
it is necromancy, but it's a deep necromancy.
Because I did sense that these were undead. This was not simply the living, or these were not living creatures that were once dead. These are the undead. They have embraced death but returned to animation.
Let's look and see what this creature looked like in life. I'm going to cast a spell. Level 2 spell. As you were. It's a necromancy spell, level 2. It's 1 minute. So I don't know if Dr. Proc will get here first. And it's touch. So I kneel down and I lay my hands on it. I close my eyes, mutter the incantations. It restores a lifelike appearance to a corpse. It looks, smells, and sounds. This is what I cast on that young prostitute that you killed. And
Which one?
restores a lifelike appearance to a corpse. It looks, smells, and sounds like it did in life.
Ooh.
We sent her home to speak with her son. Who,
So you see
No,
this
I heard about this one.
this rubbery
It was devastating.
flesh that's on the ground just cast away skin, and it suddenly seems to swell up and gain
Cool.
girth again.
probably color.
Oh, I
like
Suits.
girth.
Yeah.
Yes, it begins
Balthazar has girth.
becomes colored again. You see the eyeballs kind of freeform in its head. You see this kind of sandy blonde hair cast to one side. There's a little bit of a beard, but kind of cleanly cut as you see this face, and it's fleshed out, and the eyes look up at you and blink.
And it looks like human.
Looks like a human
Male, did you say?
male.
A human male. So I don't know if you have any experience with this spell.
how much you want to go with it. I remember what we did with the young female prostitute. Like, she spoke, she knew she had died, so we role played that. But she talks, looks, sounds like she's alive, and it lasts for 1 hour per caster level. So this will last for 9 hours.
So if this was a crazy person, did they come back crazy? Did they come back sane?
Ooh. Who decides?
The DM. So I'm going to reach down and help this person to their feet.
He looks around and takes your hand.
Rise.
Pull him to his feet. He's
Slow and
looking-
gentle.
He looks at himself, looks at his hands. Where am I?
You are dead, Balazar says. Just to break the
Heartless.
disbelief right there. You are dead.
Then this is heaven.
No. This is your own personal hell. You have been brought back to life by Malachi. You serve him now.
Why? Why would you do this?
Just answer our questions.
What is your name? Or what was it in life?
See, he probably didn't know this in advance. This is something
Nurgle.
you can't really...
Nurgle.
Nurgle.
Nurgle's a dumb name.
Well, I like it very well, thank you very much.
Tell me, Nurgle, how came you to this hospital for the insane?
A woman. There was a woman that came to me. She said she was wronged. She was ghostly, apparition. I mentioned it to my wife, and then men came for me.
They did not believe you.
None did.
Jensen, does Malachi remember the name Nurgle from all those? Remember, he has keen mind. Does
From his
he
files.
remember that name and the malady?
You would remember in your fucking crazy keen mind, remembering everything you've ever seen.
For the
You
last
saw
30 days,
a
I can
file
remember
for
everything.
Nurgle, and it was inside. It was not in the upper level, like the random files you managed to find. It was inside the doctor's study,
This is somewhat
and you
special.
happened to go through it and saw the file for Nurgle.
Nurgle, I saw your file. You were brought in for schizophrenia, I believe it said.
No, it's true. I saw a woman, a ghostly woman. She was calling for my help.
Where was this? Where did you see her?
Just outside my window. I woke in the night. She was calling. She came to me. She was beautiful. Like a raven in the night, calling to me. I could not help but answer. I had to speak to her. I had to follow her.
Did she bite you?
Bite me now. No, she needed blood. Fresh blood. Blood of a child. My own dear child. At which point, he descends into this babbling insanity as he begins to relay how, from kind of random words he's speaking and crying and ripping at himself, even though he's this like fleshy creature made manifest. Somehow he took his own child out and sacrificed it to whatever this thing was that he saw.
How quickly the malady returns.
Yes. I hope there's a special place in hell for you.
From that point, it's hard to draw him back. He kind of descends into a madness. He was sane at first, which is something, and you could speak with him. but the more you drew him into his past, he seemed to remember what caused his insanity, and it crept into him again, like a disease. At which point, there's not much you can do with him past that.
If Dr. Proc, we're waiting for him.
Yeah, he would.
I like his nickname now.
If he comes in, I will explain
He comes
these
in.
creatures. I have
What
restored.
is the meaning of this?
Red and I were attacked when we were in your study. What is the meaning of this? They
It's a
slid
boneless.
They slid
Again,
under the door.
Again.
my God, you have
It is not Mygor's fault. He did nothing to bring these on.
smacks my God.
Master, thank you, master.
I was nose deep in Lady Tearle when I was summoned here to fell
Put on some
these
clothes.
creatures. I
Throw
will dress
something.
when I feel like being dressed. Gaze upon my nakedness,
Ah.
doctor.
Doctor, can you help him with his
This is
issues?
disgusting.
You're a doctor.
This would be a. I would not have had to stitch so many together, but anyway.
What are these?
This
What are
would have
these
been
creatures? They're not of your creation. They reek of necromancy.
Because they have been trying to stop my work.
But they're not my necromancy. Who would send them against you?
This flesh we have cast aside. It comes and it fights back. There is a power. There is a strength within. We have learned that we must burn everything to ash.
Can you raise ashes?
I've never tried.
I find that if we concentrate all of them into one place, into the furnace, and then we gas them and burn them, then we have
Seems
no
reasonable.
problems.
These somehow escaped your vigilance, and
Yes.
we were nearly killed.
This is my God.
You should flog him.
Thank you, master.
I will flog him.
Give him a
Ooh,
lash
flog
from
him.
me as well.
I restored one of these, hence the young man you see. He was one of these creatures. I used my necromancy to restore him to some semblance of what he was like before he died.
And what did you learn from this creature?
He was brought to this place. I saw his name in your files for schizophrenia.
There are many that have
He
this.
sacrificed his own child to some apparition he saw through his window.
He was not insane when first we spoke. But upon recalling his deeds and his past life, he succumbed to this disease.
This is not uncommon. Those who commit evil acts, their minds are lost to themselves.
He should remain like this for another 8 hours or so. If there's anything you want to do with him, any experiments, feel free.
Torture.
My God! This is my. Yes, master. Take him into the laboratory. We will do our experiments.
May I observe and assist?
Come! As he pulls black rubber gloves out of his back pocket.
And his apron. Does he have blood?
Does he have
He's
blood?
just like a normal human,
No.
right?
Oh, the one I raised?
Nigor, Vigor,
The new
Flogor,
the
Nurgle.
Nurgle. You're not sure, but they go into a room with Malachi, leaving you in the hall. You probably go back to
I go back to Lady
Lady
Tearle.
Tearle, report everything that has occurred. I would assume
Yep.
as you get tongue deep again.
Mhm.
And what do you do?
I actually wanted to go and speak with Lady Tearle, so let me know when you're done, dude.
Her mouth is otherwise busy. Give me 5 minutes and she's yours. Fine, 2 minutes and she's yours.
I'm gonna go have my protein shake. I'll see you upstairs.
She will have hers as well.
I shouldn't have. Why? Why
It was
protein
a slow
shakes?
drip.
Oh, God.
No words again.
And we'll pick up there next time because I know you wanted to finish
Oh
it
yes,
nice.
this is a good time.
And it's
Thanks, Johnson.
9:28.
Perfect time.
That was a lot of D&D. See what we can
So-
accomplish when we don't spend time smoking and piping. Like we played a lot of D&D. That was fun.
There, a lot did happen, but you were at a point where there was a lot that needed to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah,
We
some
set a
big
lot
stuff
of pieces
happened.
in motion.
Some very big pieces.
I met my brother.
Yeah, you said you
Yeah, what's gonna happen there?
Yes, exactly.
Wait till we find out. Yeah, that's your
Fun
twin.
battle. That was fun. I like that. Those
So I
pictures were
texted
crazy.
myself sanitarium and the boneless because I think Barovia is going to have a sanitarium somewhere.
It's a fun. It's
It
like
was-
I'm trying to
Oh, what a
bring
fun
in
twist.
kind of the horror tropes.
It was Call of Cthulhu right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for like kind of almost Call of Cthulhu type stuff. Like we could have got a little better ambiance going, but I felt like it was.
No,
It
it
was
was
fun.
fantastic. In fact, I hardly have any notes written. I was so engrossed in the story.
You guys are awesome. Yeah, I love like all of your characters have such great backstories and goals and everything. Like you guys are all so invested, and that's what makes it fun. If you guys were just so checked out, like, people will check out and they'll be on their phones, and then it's like
Oh.
it's your turn. It's like, oh, what?
What are we
What?
playing?
Yeah, people do that.
Where-
And you guys never do that. You guys aren't sitting on your phones. you're
I
not
hopped on my phone to
distracted,
text
you're
myself the
engaged.
sanatorium,
I looked up
Yeah.
spells.
Van Richten.
No, and that's fun. I understand when you're doing that. It's
But I'm not
like some
checking
people
Twitter.
are like they're getting text messages and they're responding to it during D&D, and I'm like
Get those
it got
people.
bad at one
Sheesh.
point to the point where I told people to put their phones in a basket.
Yep, I remember that. The
It
Wednesday
becomes
break.
He
it's
warned
disrespectful
me.
to
Yeah.
you that have prepared
It is
session.
disrespectful, but more so, it's not so
To
much
the
for me,
story.
it's for you guys. If you can't take a few hours out of your life
Right.
and
Well,
disconnect
This isn't
and
the
just
hobby for
play
you.
a game and enjoy that game together with some friends, then there's a problem. You should be able to do that for yourself. It's like
I know
giving
I've got
yourself
an
a
addiction
gift
with my phone.
with your phone. You're
I
not
do.
bad. You don't do it.
So I'm curious if
Well.
Nurgle saw Lady Tearle, if that's who appeared to him. And she lured him here.
It's I mean that's
Oh, that
Oh,
was
that
so
doesn't go there.
close.
Would you ask her that? Would you ask her? Because remember,
Yeah.
I
the
probably
doctor did
wouldn't.
say that she has supported his
I don't know if
efforts
that's
and has.
No.
There might have been a little pillow talk before she kicked me out.
Mine are backwards.
Yes. That way they're separate from Malachi's. I've got other people's.
I will tell you, if you
character
ask
spells
her
in
that question,
So there.
she will confirm.
Nice.
That's a juicy tidbit.
Oh no, I missed it.
Yes, you did.
It's good.
Had to
What's
do with
juicy?
you.
What's juicy?
Nothing.
Balthazar.
It's up to Balazar to reveal.
At the proper time.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Juicy tidbit.
And a little pillow talk with Lady Tearle.
Did you ever see that movie, Pillow Talk? Rock
I've
Hudson?
heard of it.
Oh,
He had AIDS.
yeah. He was in the Navy. That's where he learned to be gay.
Yep.
Do you know how he broke his
Oh,
vocal
man.
cords so he had that deep voice?